Greetings and welcome to Unveiling Reality. I'm your host, the worst vet ever. How you doing? You're gonna see why I said that in a minute. Welcome to this special edition. It's just to Ask Me Anything. I was going to do. I was gonna do a show on the P Diddy stuff, and for some reason, every time I kind of brought myself to do it, I just didn't want to do it. I don't know whether it's just the topic or whether it's the people, or whether it's like I feel like there's enough out there already about it to talk about it. But I mean, I'll give a high level on it, and but I don't think I want to dedicate a whole show to that trash. I mean, it's just absolute trash, and all that stuff will come out in the wash. But I could go through and run through all the documentaries and all the things that I've found about it. It all kind of repeats itself over and over again. I think as time goes by, and more and more stuff comes out about it, we're going to find that there's a lot of connections in that manufactured music industry, and how favors are exchanged for fame, and it's a very cult like. Hey Graham, what's up, buddy? Let me say hello to everybody first. Suzanne, what's up? I'm going to answer your question first here in just a second, so thank you for being here. Daisy girl, what's up? How you doing? Shelly in the house, talking trash and truths. Then there you are. Ding. Wolfram wipes his paws, lips in the house. Yes, he does. Let's see who else. I saw some. Oh yeah, and there's Grim down there. Hey, Grim was waving. T-Rex trucking. Hello. All right, crew is in the house. All right, so I got some things to go through tonight. One reason why, even though I'm like feeling the pollen heavy today and my stomach is really hurting. I'm going to. I did the show is because I said that I would do the show to give someone in my comments a chance to come talk to me live. So let's see if that guy has enough balls to show up. And then we will talk about that as we go. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. But first, let me talk to Suzanne. This is Ask Me Anything, very interactive show. I'm going to be doing a lot of that and just talking about things in general. I'm also going to talk about the new censorship coming to YouTube that the Quartering recently put out, and just talk about that. Indeed, with the election coming up, and we'll talk about how I am the absolutely worst fit ever because because I have absolutely zero reach, and people could spread lies across the internet and get millions of subscribers. But as soon as my show goes over, my videos are not pushed. So yeah, I'm the worst one ever. The Suzanne, now you brought Scott up to me about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe, and I did reach out to them already. Okay, I reached out 4 or 5 months ago, and the conversation went back and forth as I tried to explain who I was and why I would have them on, and all that stuff. And then the last email I got from them they wanted money, so all they wanted was money. I was like, all right. And I looked at some of the videos, and I think that Scott is doing a fine job on his own. I don't know that it would benefit the arcs that we're on. Like we're kind of not there in that realm right now. But I did reach out the first time you recommended them. I did have a conversation with them, and it came down to how much money we're going to get for doing it, and I was at a point there. I'd rather spend money on having someone like Brandon Tatum come on, or some big name, right? That I've had on the, I've highlighted or featured on the show many times. I feel like their content is big time, and I guess Scott's doing a good job, but I don't think I'm gonna pay to have them come on. Oh no worries, and thank you for being active and thinking of me. I do appreciate it. Oh yeah. See, we're gonna talk about how I'm the worst vet ever because somebody said so in my comments, and and again, it's gonna go back to that second veil mentality of people who are tragically trapped in this conspiratorial mindset, where they can't even tell what a real conspiracy is and a fake one is. So we're gonna get into that, and as well as that. well, we'll see if this person shows up, but I guess I'll start by showing the comment and talking about it because I think it's funny and it really highlights what I'm talking about when it comes to the lack of thinking and the lack of how they just buy into everything they hear and how dangerous that is when you come out of the first fail and you'll just fall for anything. I mean, you're even more of a side. Really, honestly, you're in a state where many people could take advantage of you because you don't trust anything that is coming out of anywhere anymore. But here's all this new information that you can latch onto, and people are willing to tell you how they fitted all these things together, but they'll never show you how they did it. Any evidence, any solutions, anything like that. I do have another announcement to make, and this is important before I go to this. Body Armor Edge stopped making body armor. Body Armor stopped making Body Armor Edge. I'm very upset about this. I literally have like the last 2 bottles on Earth, I think, that I'm like nursing. So I guess I'm switching back to sweet tea or to barely sweetened tea. I'm trying not to put too much sugar in it. But yeah, that sucks, man. I mean, why? It really sucks. I could have made that drink the most popular drink. I really feel like I could have made that drink the most popular drink on Earth because I would have told a story about how it could help people stop drinking soda. I mean, I think that was their branding. That should have run with that. And the other thing that they did wrong with that product is they didn't feature it so in stores when you have to go find it, it'd be mixed in with all the other body armors, and it would be like on the bottom row, right? Or like tucked back away. Like they never really did a good job with the marketing of that product, but it was an amazing product, and I can't believe they stopped making it. It just maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe it's maybe it's the feds working against me because I'm the worst fed ever. Yeah, the whole idea that someone who doesn't like show their face on YouTube is somehow a fed. I think the feds made that up personally because in every other instance when they're out there, they're showing their faces to everybody. Ray Epps, anybody? Ray Epps, the Fed nappers from Wisconsin, all those people out there riling people up at J6. I mean, like Ray Epps. Yeah, they don't hide their faces, dude. They're actually way out there in front. Way out there in front. They don't care because they're going to get you anyways. So this whole idea that someone doesn't show who they are as a Fed is just the stupidest thing ever. I remember the one person. Yeah, right. I know. Can you believe it, Angry? The one person that used to give me the hardest time about it was an avatar too. He was a shirt avatar actually. Yeah, it's so funny when someone else who doesn't have a camera on says that. But this person didn't say anything about the camera, so just to give him credit. So let's bring this up, and we're gonna I told him to be here. So if he has balls and this isn't a keyboard warrior from the comments, maybe he'll show up and say something. But I was like, you can come ask me anything. Let's see. This one. Yes. Let's share this. Raving comments and see this great logic this person put together. All right, here we go. I can just get rid of this. Yeah, okay. Here we go. So this came off of my Unrig the Game, A Great Awakening Chapter 3 kickoff show video here on stream here on YouTube. And Oilfield Man 1209. Now, it said here before that this guy had been a subscriber for a year. So it's funny that he would come over here and say this now, but I've been saying these same things for ever since, and people can have their own opinions on them. But if they show up, I'll show you how I handle it. I'm just going to go over what they say. And like I said, I told them I'd be here, so they have a chance to do it. Oilfield Man, maybe 1209. The lack of comments on this video proves all the questions I had about your channel. Are you a Fed? All right. The lack of comments is why I'm a Fed now. Oh geez, it wasn't even the avatar. It was the fact that I don't get enough comments. I don't get enough comments. And by the way, we're YouTube exclusive tonight. I'm not on Rumble. Like I said, it's gonna be just kind of a short conversational stream. I said I'd be here to address any concerns this poor person had, who was obviously been taken in by a lot of conspiracy groups. But I did reply. I said, lack of comments equals Fed, great fallacy. I do live streams. The chat is commenting throughout. Feds push crazy conspiracy theories. It's called COINTELPRO. Been fighting it for 15 years. Are you a Fed? Oh, you're a Fed boy. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so I mean, going live now. Show up. And here's what he said down here. He said, dude, if you're hinting around that 9/11 wasn't planned by the US, then you lost all credibility from me. Also, if you don't think that something was up with Andy Hook, you know what that means, then same. I seen videos where the parents were deliberately trying to prepare for the interview by trying to cry. Chris, what's up? Thank you, Chris. I know, man. It's the truth. I'm the worst one ever. I'm the worst one ever. Not only do I my shadow banned, as soon as my streams were over, like literally I had 20 views in the last 48 hours, just to let you all know. So you guys are very elite being here in a sense that you know when to be here and you get the good stuff. But you think that YouTube's on my side, you're crazy. Of course, there's people that are out there pushing the boat as a conspiracy. They're getting millions of views. So there you go. That just shows you how good of a job I'm doing, right? So yeah, this guy thinks that children didn't die in Sandy Hook. This is what this guy thinks. Oil field dude, because he heard it on the internet, so it must be true. And like I said in my reply, I said I flat out saying the buildings were not planned demos, and I've proved it twice, and I have. And I always separate 9/11 into two pieces. I'm like, here's the buildup, but here's everything that happened before, and then here is what happened on the day of and after, like at the physical repercussions of it. And like I've said, the establishment never lets a crisis go to waste. They don't need to plan demolitions and scenarios to that degree when they happen all the time anyways. They don't need to plan that stuff. Now, did they enable it? Did they stand down from it? Did they cover things up? In a lot of cases, it looks like it, doesn't it? The cover up was definitely with Saudi Arabia was definitely found out. And my solution to all this stuff is we get the corruption out, then we unbury the whatever truth is buried, right? Because as long as they're in control of things, they're going to be able to redact it. They're going to be able to suppress it, whatever. So we don't have everything we need to have because they're going to be covering their asses any way they can, right? But that doesn't mean they got to freaking plan a demolition. And not only that, when I did prove it, I played actual demolitions and how loud they are and how much force it takes to actually pull these things off. And none of that was around on unfortunate day of 9/11. Yeah, and I said, yeah, your mind's being controlled by conspiracy grifters. The entire false conspiracy narrative was debunked a decade and a half ago, which it was. I've explained it dozens of times. The channel is about the real truth, not grifting people into discrediting themselves into obscurity with a bunch of wild speculation and hearsay fallacies. We address the real conspiracies here every week so we can focus on the real solutions to the real, clear, and present danger. That's what matters, isn't it? Right? So I said come by Thursday at 7. I went at 8, so I made sure to leave a little reminder. And Oil Man, I think maybe is just a troll, but this whole idea, I like to point out the fallacies of these people who are trapped in it, just to say, hey, look, this is the reason why it's important that we see the truth. We see through the bullshit, and we actually go back and we double check and we triple check everything, right? So yeah, that's the oil field man, right? If that's even true, but yeah. So because I don't agree with what the conspiracy grifters told them, I'm now a Fed, right? That's how it works. It's not, yeah, they got it all figured out. So, you can see how tough, like I said, like some of the toughest fights you're going to get are with people in the second veil. The people in the first veil, they're bought into the establishment narrative. They're going to, just write you off if you come out with a bunch of bullshit. They're hard people to convince to to look outside the box. But the second veil people are the hardest people to get to look at themselves, right? Because they've already figured out they've been screwed one time, right? And now they figure, well, everything outside of it must be true. And he probably thinks the Galactic Federation of Light is coming for him as well. So I'm going to make sure I tag him in this because he didn't have the nerve to show up. And but he can leave comments. That's fine. That's fine. Or he can just go away. There's plenty of conspiracy group channels for him to play at. But yeah, I thought this was funny. I was like, if I'm a Fed, I'm doing a really, really bad job. I'm doing a really bad job. So feel free to leave him a reply as well if anybody wants to have at it. But I think it's hilarious. But the whole thing about it is like, man, at this point, I can't believe there's anybody around still walking around thinking that children didn't die at Sandy Hook, because they did. Absolutely. And if he shows up, I'll introduce him to Lindy Posner and Noah Posner. I'll introduce him to the Honor Network. I'll introduce him to a bunch of people who actually were victims of this, parental victims of this tragedy, and who take actions against people who go around harassing the parents. And a lot of people went to jail for doing that, harassing the parents of this tragedy. I mean, I can't think of a more lower, scummier place to be. Well, I can, but that's pretty damn near the bottom right there. And I would doubt that this person has any kids. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're probably just an incel of some kind. I don't know, but any parent in the world wouldn't ever risk this, would never. And to tell you the truth, all the people who did harass the Sandy Hook parents, I don't believe any of them had kids. I don't believe that any of them did. Not the ones that I found, at least. And I found a bunch of them in my deep research about a year ago at this time into certain individuals and that entire how that entire thing started. And of course, that my experience with that particular topic goes back decades. It goes back to when it actually happened, and all the bullshit that came out after it, debunking it nightly, monthly, yearly, and all the way up to Boston, right? All the way up to Boston when they finally jumped the shark and realized that they had to kind of stop doing it. It wasn't working anymore. But for the people that grifted into it, and for the people who just come out of the clouds and fall into one of these rabbit holes, and they start listening to some person with a bunch of hearsay and a bunch of speculation, no proof, no evidence. All you have to do in this case, in Sandy Hook case, is look at, did children die or not? And they did. It's very, 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 very obvious, easy to figure out, and easy to know. And that blows up the entire narrative, doesn't it? But this person says, I'm a Fed because I don't believe that. And I don't believe that the U.S. government planned the whole thing on 9/11. Yeah. They don't see they like so it's just like with Sandy Hook, in a sense that something happens and they pivot the narrative, right? They pivot the narrative. And they pivot the narrative and shooting cases to gun control. And you can see the pattern on all of them. I mean, I'm not a genius. It's just, you can just see it. All right, back to you, chat. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm scrolling back. I'm only 10 minutes behind. Let's see. Neo from the Matrix, driver's license. Amazing. Right? Inside job. It has to be now because the Matrix said so. Yeah. I forgot. We used to be called glowies. Yeah. Of course. Because why would I what? Are you telling? Yeah. Okay. So that's where I left off. All right. Cool. Yeah. It's just so funny. This is more of the divisiveness of the second veil as well, right? Because if you don't agree with all the outrageous hearsay and speculation, then you must be with them. See, what I turn that around and say, well, if you do believe it, then you must be with them because you're furthering their divide narrative. You're furthering their divide agenda, right? You're discrediting yourself. You're pushing that divide even further in. I mean, have some self-respect. Make your word mean something. Man, I tell you what, if I make a mistake like that, I would I would be highly embarrassed, and it would grind on my it would grind. I would have a guilty conscience forever, even if I apologize, even when I apologize for it. I still would be like, man, I can't believe I effed that up. I can't believe I missed that, you know. But I would come out and say it, and I would say, this is what I learned from it, and this is what I'll do different next time. That's how you do it. Uh, he's always glowing. Yeah, I'm always glowing. It's true. Yeah. Oh, the goof is oil field man 1209. It came out of somewhere. It came out of somewhere. I don't know. He just came, evidently he was subscribed to me for a year and then missed everything until the last, you know, the last thing. I'm actually doing a reading a book by Alex Jones. I must be a fed. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Oh, what am I looking at? This right here. Okay. This right here. Wanted to make sure I gave you a heart right there, and I wanted to make sure I did. I need to put these in a better spot. There's so many clips here. I want to do this. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Winning is behind in chat. I did it, y'all. I rubbed off on him. I can hear Peach yelling phrases. You can? Where is he at? Where's Pete's at? Is he lurking? Pete, if you're lurking, you better say hi. All right. PB's incoming. Yes, you did. Perfect. Most execs can't string two words together. They're as dumb as rocks. There you go. Oh wait, can you guys see this? I always do this to you, don't I? There we go. My eyes are a little blurry from the pollen. Go away, me. All right. There you go. Now you can get a good look at it. It's at the video. You guys can go comment on it and tell Oilfield how right he is. Hey Lex, how's it going? Welcome. Ask me anything tonight. Never let a crisis go to waste. Yes. I mean, it's just so easy. You know, it's just so easy. And you know, like I said too, conspiracy grifters never let a crisis go to waste either. And what you do is you end up producing mind control victims like this guy. I mean, he probably has no idea, but you go come fight me. All right. I'm a fed because I don't get enough comments, guys. So can I get some comments? Can I get some comments? I got to get them off. I got to get the investigators off of me. They're figuring me out. They're figuring out that my lack of comments proves on this video proves all the questions you ever had about my channel. That's what it is. That's brilliant, isn't it? God, I just never thought they'd figure it out. Wow. Yeah, I am the worst vet ever. I'm the worst one ever. I don't get my videos pushed. Yeah, I show up to answer questions. The worst one ever. So funny, right? All right, so I don't think this guy's going to show up. God forbid he actually comes and stands behind his own words. But you know, he can go off into the wasteland. That's fine. All the smart people here, they got it figured out. Oh, I got some comments on my my Rumble channel about I went over it last time about the shipwreck thing. And the one guy who came out there and completely embarrassed himself by saying that there's a Ukraine pilot. Yeah, in 2016. It's 2024, pal. 2024. Sorry about that. Oops. So funny. All right, let me get this thing out of here. So yeah, speaking of feds, they're definitely going to be looking to, well, I don't know if feds or what department handles this, but they're definitely going to be looking to censor down or shadow ban down channels that talk about the elections in ways that they don't like it. So highly anticipating that. It makes me wonder if I even need to do winning 2024 on YouTube anymore. Like maybe I'll just go purely Rumble and X on that. See if that helps anything. You got to understand, I have like years of content and none of it gets pushed out. So, I mean, I don't know if I can even do anything about it at this point. Is to spread the word and hope something good happens. And puts me in a position where, regardless of, like, you with you guys, regardless of the the ban, the shadow ban or whatever, whether they're pushing my channel out or not, that we overcome that, right? Because think about it. I'm talking about the exact same things. Channels like Benny Johnson, Redacted, Tim Pool, and many numerous other people have are talking about, yet I don't get pushed out. It's really strange. There's Jacob Keats. There he is. Hey, buddy. You know, it's strange, right? Like how I do the same things, but for some reason mine don't get pushed out. Is it because I'm blowing up? I'm taking a different approach to it. I don't know. See, even to me, that gets a little bit too conspiratorial. I think it's just that they have overcome the ban, the shadow ban. They've overcome it. I mean, Jeremy Recording has talked about how his and other channels have definitely stopped growing. So I think they're feeling it, but I think that the crowd was just, they built the crowd up so big that they people look for them, right? That they're kind of untouchable at this point, and maybe that's just the key. I think that's probably the only reason I keep the YouTube side rolling. Well, that is, I started here. It's kind of like, you kind of feel bad for leaving home, I guess, in a way. But the but I don't know. I don't know. They're still good. We still have good nights here on YouTube sometimes, but I mean, as far as expecting me to get pushed out in the algorithm with by telling the truth, I mean that, and being a Trump supporter and being against the establishment, that all those things are kind of working against me. That's just the way it is. I'm hoping that one day, if you keep it going, one day somebody will find a way to get this stranglehold taken away, and maybe things will blow up that way. But it's just it gets to me in a sense that it's disappointing, right? It's disappointing that they just automatically throw your channel into the into the black hole because you really want to get the truth out there. It's crazy. Of course, they want to push their corporate the corporate media out there as well, and they can't do anything about people like Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and stuff like that. So what we have to do, guys, is we have to leave more comments so that nobody knows that I'm a Fed, and then we have to get more people in here so that people will come to the show and enjoy the content with us. So I don't know. In time, it will tell. So we do good on over there on when they are trying to keep their power. I know, ain't gonna work. But I mean, even when we were kind of in power in 2020, 2016, in a way, it was kind of a trial run of being in power and try in a corrupt system. Nothing was done about this, and that was number 2 on my list as to the 3 things Trump needed to do to get reelected. Of course, first was fix the elections, right? Let's get that ballot harvesting and all that nonsense out of there. Because it's not just the main election; it's all kinds of elections, and it's happening on both sides. The neocon rhinos are doing the same thing; they're playing the same game. And of course, the average first veil person mixes everybody in together under the R, so they don't know the difference between a Ron Paul and a George Bush, right? They don't know the difference between Donald Trump and Mitt Romney. They have no clue. They just see an R, and that their mind shuts down, and that's the end of time, right? So that's the deal with that. So so trying to get them to understand that difference after the fact and after they're watching all their mainstream media, virtually impossible. The TDS was through the roof. They pulled out all the emotional triggers. They amplified it. They repeated it daily. They changed the archetype of a person who was not loved by all, but was respected by all on both sides, and from all walks of life, right? They somehow convinced black people that because he said shut down the border, he was racist against them. That's amazing. That's an amazing trick, isn't it? Hey, cool gamer, how you doing? That's an amazing trick. Right? So if they can have the power to do that, why don't they have the power to set up nice little conspiracy narratives to discredit all the people who rejected their establishment narrative. But wouldn't that be a good strategy? Wouldn't that be a good strategy? I mean, they're already out there actively trying to get these people in trouble. They're trying to frame them for this, frame them for that. You know, they have, I mean, when Radix Verum, she was last on, we talked about the Fednapping in Michigan. She was exposing that they would actually, how Fed informants worked. She was exposing that. And so we talked about that again, making me the worst Fed ever, because here I am giving away all the secrets, you know, right on my own show here, you know. So yeah, that's the kind of thing the worst Fed ever does. It does everything wrong. And in case you guys missed it, you have to scroll back a little bit to the worst Fed ever story, or you can just go to the comments of my last Unrig the Game here on YouTube and see it for yourself. You know, why I'm the worst Fed ever. But where's that story about? I wanted to show about the. Is it underneath here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. YouTube admits, guys. YouTube admits we're all being played. New censorship rules and an insane new report. So let's take this and let's take a look at this and see what we think. Yeah. Because when I saw this, I was like, yep, I can see that. And I kind of expected it. And that's why, to start the year out, I really was pushing up the Rumble and the X platforms. And I still am, and I still will continue to do that. Because it could come to a day where they do a mass purge, and boy, no one's going to miss me, right? Except for you guys. But you can find me on Rumble if that happens. But yeah, since I've been suppressed this long, because you know, I speak truth to power, and I speak truth to grifters as well. They've you know, they do what they do. We can overcome this somehow. Like I have ideas. We'll see if they work out. We'll see if they work out. But I think even if I do, right, you get a bunch of new subscribers. Like I got 100 new subscribers in the last month on YouTube, and I've gotten 100 new Rumble followers. Well, 100. What are we at? 85. I've gotten 85 new Rumble followers since the beginning of the year, which is, you know, that's one of those things where it doesn't come on like a landslide, like YouTube does. Like Joe comes over, I get a bunch of new subs. I go to Shizzy's channel, I get a bunch of new subs, and that's basically, you know, that and some other new discovery has been Mike Ruth in the last couple of months. Thank you to both of those guys. And that's awesome. And pick my spirits back up about it at least. But the but then you gotta keep them. Then you gotta have them coming back. And if they don't see when you're going live, and if they don't know when you're going live, if they're not in your Discord, not in your locals, they're not somewhere where they can find you, they probably don't get the community posts, and they probably don't get the going live notifications, or even see the thumbnails before. If it's not in their used to being in their algorithm. You know, the thing about it is they can push certain videos out into their algorithm. You have your own. It's what you click on. Now, you guys see this in action all the time. You see this in action all the time. You know, like when you start clicking on some stuff, you go down a rabbit hole, or you go not a rabbit hole. Let me change terminology here. You go down a topic of interest, right? So whatever it is, maybe it's let's take Grim for instance. Is he still here? Grim, you still here? Grim's looking around. He's watching funny videos. And you have pits of a roughneck. Oh no. Oh wait, hold on. He's got a bounce. So nope, not you. We're not doing you. We're gonna do who wants to be the example? Let's do Cool Gamer. All right, Cool Gamer. Cool Gamer has his algorithm, and I'm in it. And that's why he finds me, right? Because he's come to a lot of my shows. He's come to a ton of my shows. I'm not kidding. He's come to many, almost all of them. And but he also likes cool games, right? So he clicks through and he's looking at Red Dead Redemption 2, which I'm actually thinking about getting, because I've always wanted to play that game. And maybe Cool Gamer plays it. I don't know. But so he starts looking at a new game, right? So he watches a couple of videos and he goes back and refreshes his home screen, and boom, what do you know? There's more videos about the same topic. That's how it works. It's pretty simple, right? So if you're clicking on a couple different topics here and there, right? All of a sudden you're getting served more content down that whole topic about that whole topic. That's how the algorithm works. It's trying to figure out what you want to watch, right? And so if they're suppressing certain types of content, right? Well, you might not get that, but if you are already currently watching that kind of stuff, you're gonna get it, right? They're gonna get it. They just won't give you suggested videos. They won't put you out in the what to watch next and all that other fun stuff. They just won't put you there, right? So that's kind of the thing. And it doesn't have anything to do with your association with other people. It doesn't have anything to do with that. That's all made up. Has nothing to do with it. If anything, some people have noticed it coincidentally. Like a certain amphibian went away and everybody started doing better. That doesn't mean that's the algorithm. It just means that more people are coming to your show. They don't learn less people are going to his, or um, you know, some people found you. It's just that you have more time for your channel. You're not going on his stupid panels, or you're not doing anything like that, right? You just have more time for your channel, so your channel takes off. It's just that thing. More people, less crowd splitting. People reject that channel, and so they have more time to go to other channels. That too. Yeah, I saw Grim Bluff. I think at least he was here. At least he was here. Let's see. The entire thing was a gang of feds trying to encourage a handful of guys to go on. Yeah, in fact, it was a handful of guys and a gang. Exactly right, Wolfram. Yeah, it was the whole thing. And so, anyways, that's exactly how they do it, right? And they didn't hide their faces. They got right out there and they talk. They brought them over. They bought them beer and weed, and got them all worked up and started planting shit in their head. That's how Fed works, at least on that level. Now, pushing out disinformation. Zach, what's up? How you doing, man? Nice fish. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. I'm just doing Ask Me Anything, kind of just discussing random topics. Right now, we're talking about YouTube censorship, and somebody thinks I'm a Fed because I don't have enough comments in my video, so I'm totally playing into that. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So ask me anything you want. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and that's how they operate. And then when Radix Verum was on, we talked about how they had a database of people they wanted to go after, like literally. And they would just find people that they had busted and sit them down and be like, "You're going to do this, or go to federal pound me in the ass penitentiary," right? And so they say, "Okay, well, yeah, I don't want to go there because I'm one of those P's, and P's don't last long in prison. So yeah, I'll do whatever you say, feds." And so that's how they end up becoming part of it. And they have this database that Radix uncovered. That they will literally sit down in front of them and say, "Okay, find us a way to get into any of these people, find an inroad to any of these people," and then hand them off. So yeah, that's not going on here either. But evidently, I don't get enough comments. Let's see. We talk about the algorithm, right? So yeah, so then Cool Gamer also likes professional wrestling, right? So he picks on some Rhea Ripley matches, and so now he's getting more WWE content served to him. So he's got that's the way the algorithm works. It's trying to figure out what you want, right? Now that's your algorithm, right? The other one, and you're going to see, they're going to tell you in this video, they have several different things they're working on, several different methods, right? So, but then like I told you before, like I was trying to explain before, I believe the way they do it is a scoring system. So if you fall into a low score or a high score, depending on how they have it set up, they probably did it ass backwards and made it a high score. But then you could fall into a segmentation, which is a segment of a database, right, where it doesn't get the same type of activity as another segment. Say the gold segment versus the red segment. The red segment would be like danger, right? And the gold segment meaning, yeah, this is exactly, you follow all the rules, you don't say anything controversial, and we push you out, right? And so that's what that is. That's what that is. Hey, Castro, how you doing, man? How you doing? Anybody else roll in here? I missed him. Okay, go try to say hi to everybody. So anyways, let's watch this video real quick. I'm gonna make sure I got the captions on, and so this is them coming out saying, yeah, we're gonna be doing more of this stuff. And we'll just discern it ourselves, and we will figure it out. So here we go. Pull this up. Let's watch it like this and go.
This year is going to be absolutely wild on YouTube. Now, if you just consume sports highlights or comedy podcasts or video game content, I suspect your day-to-day isn't going to get super interrupted. Your day-to-day is not going to get overrun by manipulation by the YouTube algorithm, which they now say they, quote, have a responsibility to manipulate algorithms leading up to this year's presidential election. A responsibility. If you create content, if you consume content around politics, around your country's elections. By the way, this isn't just in the United States. I've got articles I'm going to show you that they're doing this in every country. This is a major problem. It is censorious. It is a way for them to put their finger on the scales of free elections, in my opinion. And it is bad for content creators, and it's bad for consumers of content.
Right. And hey, and from his perspective, man, he made his everything on YouTube. And he just started going over and pushing the Rumble with this year or the end of last year. But I mean, especially disappointing for people who have really changed their lives with YouTube. That this happens. So it really impacts people like him big time. Like he's going to tell you his revenue's been cut already.
You see this article, YouTube. This is from Reclaim the Net, which is always a great place, by the way, to read. YouTube says it has a responsibility to manipulate algorithms leading up to the 2024 election. Wherever you're watching this content, if you're a YouTube only viewer, I wouldn't ask you to just leave. But come election time, when you want to consume unmanipulated content, I highly recommend Alt Tech. I obviously am on Odyssey and BitChute, but primarily Rumble. Now would be a great time today. Create a Rumble account, download the Rumble app, and follow your favorite creators there. If they're not there, tell them to go there, right? Because, I mean, I've got nearly 200,000 followers there. People are on Rumble. I routinely, have videos that get 15 to 20,000 views. LiveStreams get 150,000 views. People are here. Content is here. The app you used a year ago is so much better and gets better every other week.
Yep.
Follow the quartering. Follow your favorite content creators over on Rumble, even if you don't intend to switch fully yet.
Okay, so I just want to ask a question to the crowd here. How many people are not on Rumble? Like, I guess that's one way to say it. So, is there anybody here that has not joined Rumble yet? Just let me know if you haven't and if you plan to.
Because it will matter. YouTube has a plan to remove and suppress some content and boost what it decides are authoritative sources.
There you go. See, look at that. Boost authoritative sources.
People who watch my content, right? This is not new. We've known that YouTube does this, has done this for a very long time. However, here we go, another election cycle, right? 2016, alt tech was weak. There was a few options. 2020,
hold on.
alt tech, new tech was getting better, but still buggy.
Right here, I'm going to point this out. Can you guys see that all right? Remove, raise, reward, reduce. That's a scoring system.
Hack, right? 2024, there's no excuse. Rumble works great. There are a few things you might not like. Most of the times, I hear people say, well, they don't have this or they don't have that, and they've had it for months. Well, they don't have playlists. They have that. I don't have watch history. They have that. Their app didn't work on this, didn't work on that. It's been fixed. I can't watch videos minimized in the app, which, by the way, YouTube charges for. Rumble doesn't. And Rumble does not suppress content, does not write articles about that actually being a good thing. So I'll leave my Rumble channel in the pinned comment, by the way. Go over there and create an account, at least. Follow your favorite content creators. Responsibility is a good word. It's even better as an actual thing. This is via reclaimthenet.org. But even just as a word, it's a positive one. It signals that reliable people, entities are behind some project or policy. So no wonder then that the thoroughly disgraced Google and YouTube, as far as censorship and biased political approach, are trying to use the word responsibility as a narrative fig leaf to cover what a giant platform is actually up to and has been up to for a very long time. Enter YouTube's newest chief product officer, Joanna Vulik. What are the priorities here? It can be summed up as 4 R's and 1 C, namely YouTube's remove, raise, reward, reduce content approach, as per a blog post published by YouTube itself. And the C would be speculative for censorship, which is what these supposedly fair and uplifting actions in reality end up achieving. Have you noticed that most people who speak against the narrative, their channels aren't really growing that much anymore? They're growing small here and there. Wherever you're watching, make sure you're subscribing to the content creators that you watch. It matters. Make sure you're following them. It matters. It's so hard to reach people. So it says, if you thought it continues, if you thought any of this could be achieved by YouTube without boosting authoritative content, think again. This is still a solid pledge regurgitated by Vulich. And if you thought somebody would finally come out and clearly spell out, and according to whose definition content gets to be dubbed authoritative or otherwise, don't hold your breath. Well, we all know what YouTube says is authoritative. CNN, MSNBC. It always has promoted that content. I see CNN videos at the top of almost every single news-related search that I do, and they have hardly any views, meaning people are scrolling right past them to try and find content creators that they trust or that they enjoy. And YouTube continues to put that garbage at the top of the algorithm. The sum total is that YouTube has a new product manager, but nothing has changed. Certainly not in this year of an election. While Vulich had made perfunctory references to creators benefiting from new features and even being heard via feedback, he also learned that that's convenient is AI isn't advertised as a tool to empower creativity. Otherwise, AI is denounced as the scourge of democracy itself. When that's said, there is an overarching issue of YouTube's responsibility to do what, you might wonder. Give its users, creators the best tools and opportunities, or act as a proxy campaigner for certain political and ideological option in the United States, but also elsewhere in the world, which is really what it is. YouTube self.
Yeah, speaking of that, the whole AI, like disclose yourself. Man, I ain't playing that game. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to say it. You figure it out yourself, because you know what is you're not going to do when I say that. You're not going to help me with copyright claims. The only reason I would check that off is if it goes, okay, well, remember, do you guys remember when I came out with the whole plan of saying there should be a way to identify AI content so that it doesn't fall into the typical content claim, content ID claim world? It needs to be run. It needs to be run in a different way with AIs that know the law. You know, I did, of course, I did it the white hat way, right? That knows the law, and then it could actually process through the video, detect the AI, and say, okay, this is fair use, this is transformation, right? Because that's the law says. Hey, you transform with AI, it is new stuff, but and it's unclaimable. But yet, if I do it, it'll still do the same thing to me. If I make a you know a reface a scene from a movie, make it all brand new characters, they'll still hit me with it, even though I put a lot of work into it. They'll still hit me with it. So I came out with this whole way, and I explained it, and I did a video on it where I explained exactly what they needed to do to upgrade their systems so that they wouldn't go through all this needless administrative work, having to go back and assess channels that are getting claimed, are saying they have too much reused content when they're actually making transformed content, right? So what they've done here is they've taken that idea and turned it into like a snitch system on yourself, where they're just going to throw you in this category because, God forbid, one of your videos may have some kind of like some meme about one of their establishment overlords, right? And that somebody may laugh at that, or they actually believe it, right? Even though it may be very unbelievable. So they're going to throw you in a bucket now, and they're going to say, don't push this out.
Professed 4 hours of responsibility may or may not provide some insight into what the answer of this serious question might be. Remove.
Stop. Remove content that violates our policy as quick as possible. You know how wide and varied that policy is. And that's the whole thing, right? Like, you get your stuff's taken down before you have a chance to explain it, and then then you try to appeal it, and they go, oh well, they don't have to even give you an answer at that point. So that's the remove part, and that's a wide umbrella, violates our policy. So as the policy changes, they go and remove videos. For example, my biggest video of all time, which I can't even pull up and show you guys anymore, was the Alex Jones Mike Tyson interview, right, when it first came out. That thing hit, boy. I haven't seen numbers like that since. I mean, I was talking thousands of views a day, hundreds and hundreds of subs a day. It was like what some people are experiencing with the Hales content, but on steroids. It was like boom, 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 and it went for about 2 weeks, and you could see it cut off, took it out of the algorithm, boom, it was done. But that thing, when it got up to like almost 500,000 views, 14K likes, thousands of subscribers from it. And it should have kept going like that. And it was just, you know, because it was AJ and Tyson was, you know, hitting a J in there. They, I guess, eventually took it out. I don't know. I don't know if it was a natural fall off, but it did nosedive. Like the spike, the nosedive spike was like, you think that thing would go forever. Like it didn't get to millions, you know, but millions of people probably wanted to see Mike Tyson and Alex Jones talk. It was a good interview too. And that stayed up for 2 years, 2.5 years, 2 years, maybe year and a half. I don't know. It stayed up for a long time, right? And I actually had to appeal it at first, and I won the first appeal on it. So when they rolled out rolled out a new policy, they implement the new policy, right? And then they rerun everything. So it got reflagged again, and that time they just pulled it down. So I appealed it again, and I said, this is already passed checks. It's already been approved. And it should be reinstated as soon as possible. This has already been through the ringer one time. It's passed, but nope. They decided this time, nope. So bye-bye. Bye-bye, best video ever. You know? And hopefully it's on Rumble. I think I did push it over to Rumble. I know it is on Rumble, and it just doesn't do really well over there. But man, it did great on YouTube. But people were so excited to see those two talk, and like the interview went so well. People were like generally excited about it when they left. They thought it was great. They had a good feeling, and that's why I got so many subs and so many likes from it, because people had it gave people a good feeling when they watched it. So let's continue.
Content that violates our policy as quickly as possible. Raise up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information.
So that means basically, if you're trying to do breaking news, or you're trying to just do news in general, media analysis, which is what I would call this. What I do here is analyzing media from all sources, and that's doing that. But they're going to push all the scumbags up first, so that you get that. And this is to the average person. People like us, we're gonna skip right past that. We have our set channels that we go to probably by this point. We're talking about everybody else. Like we're more in the minority in that case than others that come onto YouTube, that come around here looking for things, that look for sources. They're going to have to fish through mounds of MSNBC and CNN and Fox News and other places like that. And I consider them all establishment media, to get to the base media, the new media, the anti-establishment media, the media analysis that goes that would debunk the establishment narrative. They're going to have to like dig through all that to get to find a channel like mine, if they can even find it.
Well, what is an authoritative voice? We don't know. The only authoritative voice that I can speculate they're talking about is mainstream news, which almost all of it has pushed.
That's right, Wolfram.
Or now debunked information bigly in the past 7 years. Remember, if
you
get the jab, you won't get sick. Every major news outlet basically said that.
Yep.
Fox News forced it on their employees.
Mm-hmm.
Reward trusted and eligible creators and artists. Essentially, we're going to reward CNN, MSNBC, Fox News with impressions and therefore advertising rates and advertising revenue. If you talk to an independent content creator, ad revenue for creators has plummeted. It's about half of what it was last year for me. It creates a lot of stress and strain and a lot of incentive to stop speaking out against things.
It does. Exactly, Jeremy. Like, and he's built his whole business. So he has a budget, right? Based on his ad revenue and what is expected, what the trends are, right? He's got a budget for his business and what he pays his employees, what he can invest in, his coffee company, all the other things he's doing, right? But that money coming off of his YouTube videos that he's made was like 1, 2, 4 a day, 4 new videos a day for years. I don't know if he's had that same schedule the whole time, but that's what it is now, right? That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And he's got people working for him, and then he has to run the coffee business and whatever else he's into. Then he does a live Monday through Friday at 5:30. So then he has a live on Rumble. I guess did he start on YouTube first, or does he do both? He advertises it for Rumble. I don't know if he's got a new deal or what. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 videos at about 12 to 15 minutes a piece, maybe shorter sometimes. And then he does like a 1 hour, 2 hour show on Rumble. That's what he's doing every day. The guy's doing this for a living, right? So he's anticipating certain revenues so that he can actually forecast his growth, what he's going to be able to invest in coming up, who he can afford to give raises to, if he can bring on more help where he needs it. All this stuff is dependent. And what they're telling him and everybody else, even small creators, is that they're going to push his content down because he's not an authoritative voice, right? So they've got their, this is what I'm talking about. This is how unfair it is. At the same time, there's other side that says, well, it's their platform, right? But their platform has become so dominant in the space that it's hard to become a full-time streamer or media outlet or anything like that on the internet without YouTube. So like he's saying right now, this is to make you not want to speak out on, not want to address important topics, to make you talk like an idiot, you know, changing words out, changing your language, cutting words off, doing, you know, refusing to, I mean, sounding childish when you're talking about a freaking, you know, when you talk about things that kids can clearly understand. Everybody knows what the childish words are replacements for. You're not fooling anybody, but, you know, here you have it. So they're dance puppet dance, right? What do you guys think about that?
Reduce the speed of content that brushes up against their policy. So what they're saying is
reduce the speed of content that brushes up against their policy.
Even if it's within the policy lines, we're going to shadow ban it. That's what they're
saying. Even if you do it the right way, if it brushes up against the policy, that means that if you're using the fake words, they're still going to punish you for it. We're talking about, well, there's the title. YouTube admits we're all being played, new censorship rules, and an insane new report. So that's what we're doing. We're going through that. And if you scroll back, I was talking a little bit earlier about how I'm the worst Fed ever. So, and that's a joke, but yeah, go back and check it out. It's in the comments. Yeah. This video on YouTube nonsense. Yep. So he's reading through it right here.
Saying, even if it's up, you know, if it's right up against our policy line. So if it isn't, another way to say that is if it doesn't violate our policies, which is what the real answer is, right? If it doesn't violate our policies, we're still going to shadow ban it. And that right there is a solid foundation for the continue.
All right, hold on. He skipped. So R1, remove content that violates our policy. Okay, I see. Okay, so it's a recap here. Gotcha.
Continued effective C, censorship. You see a lot of people in the replies. At this point, though, who's going to YouTube for anything other than game reviews and cat videos and shredder vids?
Really? So look, in these comments, you can see what their algorithms are. Their personal algorithms are. That's what you, Rika, that's what you go there for, and probably some other weird stuff. But you know, so that's what you get. So you don't think that there's anything out there but game reviews, cat videos, and what's a shredder vids? What's shredder vids? Anybody? I feel old when I say that. I'm thinking like, you know, what, surfing, skating?
I don't know what shredder vids are.
He doesn't know.
Blatant censorship. This is what I'm saying. Like, most of your content creators are going to be on a place like Rumble. I've 198,000 people. Download the app, follow the quartering, download the app, follow your favorite content creator.
And if you follow the quartering, follow me. Jeremy wants you to.
And start using it here and there. You know, because this stuff doesn't change until people leave the platform, until people say enough is enough. And this isn't just in America, by the way. YouTube to step up measures to tackle quote unquote fake news ahead of 2024 general election in India.
In India, did anybody know that there's things going on in India as far as the election goes? Are there fake news going on in India? Are they having a revolution there as well? What you got here? Let's see. Every week I do videos about GVA stats, and I know they ain't putting it out. GVA stats, cool. I think he did a video with Sticks, Hex and Hammer too, and that guy Sticks has been on the get into network sites now before YouTube totally screws all of us train for ages. Yeah. I'll get on the new tech sites now. Sorry, I misread that. Uh, pollen count's really high here today. It does have an effect on me. Yeah, I get it. That's why I started the year off the way I did. I'm going to keep pushing it this year. You know, I'm in a little bit of a trap in a sense that, you know, if I'm not reaching enough people to hear the message of me pushing it out, then, you know, it's going to be slow, right? It's going to be slow. But I am happy to report that we're only 15 away from 400 on Rumble, and I have a very ambitious goal for this year for Rumble. I want to get us to I want to get to we started at 300. I want to double or triple that this year if possible. I know it's ambitious. But we're already 4 months in, and we are 15 away from getting our first 100. So 100, 200, 300. So maybe we can get to like a new 400 more new subscribers by this year, or followers this year, right? Which will put me up in the sevens. What it really it's going to take is like one big push, like one interaction, one panel, one interview with someone who's big on Rumble to say, guys, do this, go support this channel, and that will push it up there, right? That'll push it up there. So who knows? Maybe I can get one of those this year. We'll just keep trucking along though.
This is also something that they've done in many other countries. Here's an article from today. The YouTube algorithm actually isn't radicalizing people, while user choice matters on social media. So the mainstream narrative out there about the YouTube algorithm is it needs to be controlled. It needs to be something that gets controlled, manipulated, in particular in the way the government wants and in the way that the mainstream media wants. And of course, it just so happens that the mainstream media, part of what they want is for their stories to be front and center. About 25% of Americans get their news on YouTube. That's a huge number. Why do you think they want to control it? With its billions of users and hours upon hours of content, YouTube is one of the largest online media platforms in the world. In recent years, there have been a popular narrative in the media that YouTube's from highly partisan conspiracy theory-driven YouTube channels radicalize young Americans, and that's YouTube's recommendations algorithm leads users down a path of an increasingly radical content. However, a new study from the Computational Social Science Lab at the University of Pennsylvania finds that users' own political interests and preferences play the primary role in what they choose to watch. In fact, if the recommendation features have any impact on users' social media diets, it is a moderating one. On average, relying on exclusively on the recommender results in less partisan consumption, says the lead author. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, Associate Research Science at CSS Lab. So essentially, the media has been saying, oh, it's the algorithm. We got to control the algorithm. The algorithm's radicalizing people. They use that as an excuse to get YouTube to change the algorithm to promote their garbage content. People can't help. They're helpless against the algorithm. You know how rarely I click on a recommended video? Usually I'm searching on a specific topic. And honestly, if you're like me, a specific creator. There's usually a specific creator I'm looking for a video from. Hey, what did Stick Sex and Hammer say about this thing? Or what did Lotus Eater say about this thing? Or what did, Trigonometry say about this thing? It's not like, please, generally, most people have like advanced search text when they look up something. So a new report released yesterday, proves that the algorithm is not something that changes how people control. Yet Teen Vogue and all these other outlets keep talking about how YouTube needs to change its algorithm. It's because 25% of Americans get their news there. Make today the day you create a Rumble account, you follow your favorite creators,
25%
consuming content there, because that is what a truly free search environment looks like. The algorithm's getting better. It's improving every week. The app's improving every week. Sometimes there's bumps in the road, but wouldn't you rather get served content that isn't controlled by big tech? Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. So there's that report. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, so as we went through it, you can see that if it's not already there, it'll be getting worse as the year rolls on. So what topics are safe? What topics are safe? So do you just avoid politics altogether? Do you avoid deep dives, debunkings altogether? Because even if I'm debunking something that they probably they might agree with or disagree with, I don't know. They're still not going to push it out. I still have that low score. I still have that unfavorable score. or I'm gonna, you know, fall into that troublemaker category. Just a troublemaker. That's what I am. I'm the worst fit ever. Actually, if I keep getting suggested nonsense from YouTube, I outright refuse to even go check out the videos at that point, no matter what, and look elsewhere on that info. Same thing with being jammed with constant advertisements on something. I will avoid that brand or company from that point on. So, you know, one thing I've noticed is if I somehow start getting videos that I don't want, start clicking videos that I do want, and those videos I don't want go away. That's like another way you could tell it's just like it's about your choice. So, like I said, there's different ones out there. So the YouTube one is what it's going to push out for suggested videos and so on like that. It's the one with the 4 R's in it, right? Yours yourself, your individual one is going to try to define what you want to watch. But if what you want to what they don't like isn't included in what you want to watch, then that's how they do the shadow ban, right? And again, it doesn't affect other channels. It only affects your own, and it only affects the people like you know. Like I said, there's been some really bad takes on you know, well, if this channel does this, and I'm associated with that channel, then it hurts my channel, and that's bullshit. It's bullshit. In fact, what it does is it plays right into YouTube's hands, doesn't it? Plays right into censorship's hands. In fact, I say if there's a channel that covers things that you don't want to cover on your channel, yet you believe in the cause, promoting that channel is a way to help. Is a way to help, even though you don't want to help on your own channel. You know, just saying. 2030 is not far away. You might want someone talking about it, but like you know, the trick though, the way to beat it is to get into the zone where you have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of subscribers, and you'll get enough batches of people that come in to sustain, you know, at least sustains the lives themselves. And you know, live rewatches, man, rewatch crew rocks. I love them, but I get it. Being at the live is where it's at. Whiskey 77, how you doing? Have a drink and come on in and enjoy the crowd, man. Enjoy the crowd. I like how he has the drink that is actually in his picture. Like, right, this is the same drink. How'd you do that? That's really cool. That's really cool. So yeah, that's the YouTube thing, man. And just to give you an example too of some of their stuff, man, it's just kind of funny. Where's my watch later stuff? Here we go. They'll push you out, and like if you're complete nonsense, if you don't challenge the narrative, you have some kind of tricky stories. Or you just like you cover games, or you cover pets, or you cover you know, something that's non-controversial, you know, then you could do it. It makes me think, man, you know, should I start a second channel to see if I can have some kind of second channel that will be algorithm friendly, that doesn't address these topics but still is entertainment for people. And maybe that's a way to parlay across, keep one channel to be controversial and keep another channel to not be controversial, and maybe make a living that way. You know, if I'm considering being full time, which right now, I'd, you know, if it were to happen, I would think, okay, that's a sign for me to do it, but I'm not really pushing that direction. I'm still trying to look for other ways outside of the streamer world to make a living. But at the same time, it may be worth it, because like the lead attorney says, man, you could, if you get it right, it can be life changing, right? It can be life changing. You know, and there's a lot of life changing I need to do. So I go back and forth. I go back and forth with that. You talking trash, if they hate me, I use the no words often because I won't minimize anyone's trauma if I can help it, including my own. Yeah. See, you can't be honest on YouTube. That's the thing. You know, it's your language that's going to make you honest. And tap dancing around things. It's just, I wish there was more of a space for what you do on Rumble and on other platforms. But there are channels again that do really well with this, right? It's just that we started after the censorship. That's the problem. Channels like us, we started after the censorship. You have to have some grand event or several grand events to get you over the hump. You know, if you stumble on a hot story or a community, then you know, you could have a real big boost, right? If you're not, you know, you can go grift. I mean, you can just totally grift people, but you know, a lot of these people, like I said, a lot of people we see that have had a lot of success on YouTube. We are in the day of an age of where if you start a channel, it's very hard to get to where they're at. I mean, I see people, their channels are nothing but drama, and they sit there and they just perpetuate drama constantly. And they have tons of viewers, tons of stuff. It's all BS. It's all just people in anguish and you know, pulling each other down. And you know, some people make banks in the drama tube scene. You know, you have these and people sitting there just perpetuating it because they don't care whether they hurt people or not. And there you have it. So that's sad. That kind of stuff they'll push that out because hey, you know, it's not controversial. If anything, it helps the agenda out, right? It helps the agenda out. Let's keep people demoralized. Let's keep people destabilized. You know, let's keep that cycle of abuse going. Hey, Anya, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Magic. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like the way they chocolate. Don't tease Wolf. All right. Hides from even the worst fed. Whatever. Yeah, go back to the beginning of the video for the joke on that. The worst fed ever. Yeah, I'm a fed because I don't get enough comments on my videos. That's what I was told by a former subscriber. So sorry about that. Yeah, the secret's out. Let's see. They want anything on this platform that keeps people from watching what is going on. Sure. Yeah. I help real people and they help me. As long as we have each other, I'm gonna keep on, regardless of YouTube assholeness. Yes, you do that. Keep on trucking like a T-Rex trucking down the street. T-Rex, you here? I was getting ready to give away. See. All right. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so there's a guy out there, right? I think I'd like that. I don't know if this is funny. This is kind of a follow-up. I don't know if I told this story or not. I'm not gonna play the video, but I just want to show it real quick. Okay. Here we go. All right, this dude. Whoa. This dude right here. Art of Flick Kicks. Art of Kicks. Art of Kicks. Right? Looks like he might be in town. He's got the A town on his hat. Right? And I just want to tell the story about this video. I wish I had never went to this party, part 2, deleting soon, right? So he covered this story from this other guy, right? Here's part 1. He says deleting soon. And he said all this crazy stuff started happening to him after he covered the story. So I'm going to cover it and I hope it happens to me. But did it go right over?
So I just re-uploaded a story I did a few months
Watch this guy real quick.
ago the other day to TikTok, and it got over 4 million views overnight. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's about this party that I got invited to in LA. And when I initially dropped it, it didn't really get any traction. I'm pretty sure the first time I dropped it, it got like 20,000 views. I was just like, I guess nobody cares about the weird thing that happened to me in LA. I guess it's a boring story. I guess it's not cool. I guess we're just going to move on here. And I just kind of let it go. I just like let it slide. I just moved on with my life. I just kept making other content. But in this past month, it blew up. It blew up.
Okay.
On YouTube, so I decided to re-upload.
This is a story about this guy.
Crazy.
This guy, right? This guy, what he does is he tells scary stories from first-person perspective, right? Its entire channel is about this, and he put up this video over here talking about some party that he went to. He was invited to in LA, where they tried to rope him in to doing some very. You guys want to listen to it? Let's listen to it. It's 11 minutes. Why not? We got some time. We'll let you listen to it, right? But here's a trick. This guy does scary stories from a first person perspective. So he takes a scary story, right? And look, oh no, he put out another one, part 3, the 6th room, right? So I guess he's running with it. But I told this dude this other dude on the last video, I was like, you didn't read his about page because he says scary stories told from first person perspective. So he finds stories and he does it, right? He reads them like they're his own, and that's his channel. He gets 257,000 subscribers for it, and he gets massive amounts of views, 150,000 views in 2 days over here as he's in his kitchen talking about the 6th room. And so we tell you guys want to watch the story? Yeah, kinda. But he tells them from a first person perspective, right? So they got the other guy I just showed you, right? Played this whole first video, right, of him right here. This is we're on his channel now, so this is his video, not the title itself. The title itself is from the last video we were on. But here it is right here. I wish I had never went to this party. He talked about how he went to this LA party, and somebody had approached him. They had found him as new creators and said, "Hey, you should come to this party, man. We think you're going places." And they invited him to this party. And this is what happened. We'll listen to the story. Why not? But I just want to say that, the other guy thought he was actually being truthful. And then he comes out with a second video going, since I started playing that last video, all kinds of weird shit's been happening to me. Like, that's not like psychosomatic, right? But it's like, this dude is like, look at this first one had 1 million views on YouTube, 1 million views. And he's just reading a story first person. Like, I guess he's believable. He keeps a straight face. I don't know. But he talks about these rooms they went into, right? They went into one room and another and so on. So we will we'll watch it. We'll watch it. Why not? It's a quick story. It's interesting. Hopefully he won't copyright me. I'm gonna put the captions on so you guys can understand the backstory. This is just something fun to do. But also just kind of goes down the whole. They'll put stuff like this out. It's completely manufactured, fake, whatever, entertainment, right? Well, it's like TV. It's entertainment, right? And it kind of looks like a little bit of a mix of Ben Shapiro and somebody else. Like, I can't figure out. I'll think about who it is, but he's also got. Look, he's also got the. I don't know if he wears this in every episode or not, but Mr. Ballin. Remember when Mr. Ballin took off? He had this kind of look too, right? This is his kind of like rough, like, flannel shirt. Mr. Ballin always wore the flannel shirts and the hat backwards. So right away, he's kind of doing the Mr. Ballin thing already, right? Oh, hey, good night, Cool Gamer. Thank you for being here, man. Hey, Cool Gamer. Rhea Ripley retains this weekend. She retains. I'm saying, what do you think? Rhea or Becky? Who's gonna win? All right. Hey, Mimsy, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well today. Oh, Art of Kicks. Okay, that's his name. Art of Kicks used to watch him. Yeah, Art of Kicks is convinced the story is real. I left him a couple comments, but I doubt with as many people as go to his channel, he's going to answer me, or he's scripting on. He's scripting onto it. I don't know. I don't know much about his channel. You see, it's like Tom Welling and Ben Shapiro had a baby. Yeah, something like that. I can't tell by the coloring in this, but close to my eyes. Mine are brighter blue though. His look more like gray. So there you go. There's Ask Me Anything. But yeah, I got the light with the ring around it like that. Here you go.
I just re-uploaded a story I did a few months ago the other day to TikTok.
It's pretty close.
And it got over 4 million views overnight. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's about this party that I got invited to in LA. And when I initially dropped it, it didn't really get any traction. I'm pretty sure the first time I dropped it,
let me fix this.
20,000 views. I was just like, I guess nobody cares about the weird thing that happened to me in LA. I guess it's a boring story. I guess it's not cool. I guess we're just going to move on here. And I just kind of let it go. I just let it slide. I just moved on with my life. I just kept making other content. But in this past month, it blew up. It blew up on YouTube. So I decided to re-upload it to TikTok. And it went crazy. And so many people were asking me so many things. People were accusing me of things. People were trying to find inconsistencies in the story. People were being outright victim blamers. And I kind of realized why it just blew up recently. with everything that's going on with Diddy, Ryan Garcia, and the Drake Bell stuff. So I kind of see why the public attention is on it. But one of the main accusations was that I did this after all of that stuff. But if you go check when I uploaded this video, it was over 3 months ago. I uploaded it before any of these people came out, before any of these accusations, before any of this stuff was released. And I know there's been similar stories and people say similar things about weird stuff that happens in LA. But I don't think anybody has put out such a detailed account of the stuff that happens there. And that kind of moves me on to my next point. There's a couple things I want to address in this, and I just want to clear up everything for you guys. I'm going to go over all of the most common comments that I got, the most common accusations that I got, just what it seems like you guys want to know the most about. And I'm not sure how much more detailed I could really be about the party in general or the entire experience in general. I could definitely go into more of the stuff of how they were messing with me after. Let me know if you guys want to hear that. But a lot of people are telling me to say what I saw in the 6th room. And that confuses me a little bit because I don't know why.
Sorry, this is the 6th room. This is the 6th room one. But I want to hear it because I haven't heard this part. So let's listen to it.
To say it. Do you guys want me to give you like vivid, horrible descriptions of illegal activities that are like disgusting and done to people that they shouldn't be done to? That's a bit weird to me. You want to hear those words come out of my mouth. I don't want.
No, we want to hear it so that it's proof about what you're talking about. So go ahead.
I want to describe it to you. It's grotesque. It's disgusting. It's hideous. It's heinous. Stuff.
All right. So you guys need the backstory. Let's go.
Fear and trauma. That's how.
Oh, he's all black in this one. All right. All right. Let's go. Maybe he really believes this happened to him. I don't know. But his whole channel. If you go to his channel, right here. Let's go to his channel real quick. Dougie. All right. Immersive storytelling. That's all it says now. Man, he changed that shit. They say at the end of the video? Maybe.
But there's a man standing over a cat with a lab.
This is the first-hand experience visiting. All right, so it's creepy stories told from the first-person perspective. I think he says it at the end of the video. So let's just go back and watch the end of the video. I know I heard it. Back. All right, here we go. You guys ready for a creepy story? We sped this up, right?
Fear and trauma. That's how they keep their groups so tight.
All right, so here you go. So this is about cults, evidently. You can believe them or not. Let's just listen to what he has to say. It'll be entertaining.
The more it helps me, the more stories I can get to you. So liking and subscribing, just absolutely backflip onto that subscribe button if you don't mind. This story I dropped a few months ago and it didn't get any traction when I initially started dropping it. And then it started to blow up on Facebook a month later after I had already abandoned it and moved on. But a lot of people demanded another part. So this is going to be the full story of the society with an extra part at the end. I'm so happy people have started enjoying this. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the show.
Okay, here we go. Story boy.
So this story is the reason I stopped making content for 5 years. You guys remember when all those Vine stars and skit Instagrammers moved to LA in like 2015-ish? So I wasn't a huge creator at the time, but I was there and around it all as all of that stuff was happening. I moved from Chicago to LA 3 weeks after high school with like $2,000 in my pocket that I saved up working at Steak and Shake with this other aspiring creator named David. I was much more into editing and being behind the camera at that time, and he was much more into Vine and vlogs and being on camera. That time of our lives was absolutely crazy. Everybody was broke, posting anything we could onto YouTube to get some attention. I happened to get a spot at the now notorious 1600 Vine apartments, and David got a spot a little bit closer to USC. Everyone was collaborating with everyone, and it was the era of clickbait YouTube. And to be honest, it was extremely fun for the first few months until Hollywood started to notice that influencers were the next big thing and that the land.
So you know who else was it? What year was this again? What do you say? 5 years ago? Oh, so okay. 5 years ago would be 2019.
Landscape of the industry was changing, and we started to get invited to more exclusive parties and events where it seemed as if old Hollywood was almost grooming new Hollywood. And there was rumors of this one gathering that was happening on a monthly basis where it seemed like anybody that got invited saw.
Oh, you said 15? 2015? Okay, I still wouldn't line up.
Secured huge brand deals right after attending. But apparently this gathering worked on a buddy system. Someone had to vouch for you and bring you as a guest. And by blind luck, me and David ended up getting invited. Some talent agents saw me and David shoot a silly skit at a random party. He didn't invite us that second. He just told us that he saw something special in us and took our contact information. And listen, people do that all the time in LA, but this guy had a different feel to him. He wasn't trying to convince us he had connections or hype himself up like everybody else does. He was just super calm and had a sharp way of speaking that demanded respect. He was extremely brief, and after getting our number, he just said, "Look out for the invite," and walked away. And this is where it gets weird. I never gave this guy my address. I only gave him my number. But I ended up getting an invitation by letter. And at the time, I I thought that was so cool. But in retrospect, as an adult looking back at it, that alone was a huge violation of privacy and a major red flag. But at the time, when I tell you I was absolutely buzzing with excitement. When I got it, the letter was so extravagant and detailed. It was gold with black and red lettering that read something like, your talents have been noted, your name has been endorsed, and I'll never forget this part. The dreams you've been chasing are a night away through the seventh heaven. And the address was a beautiful home in Laurel Canyon that was set to happen that week. It also noted to not be a minute late and not to expect to leave before midnight. And at the time, it felt like the Willy Wonka golden ticket. And the excitement doubled when I got a text from David at the same time, in all caps saying, did you get one too? I felt like our lives were about to change. And I was right. David blew up after this party and I had to go into hiding. I felt like our lives were about to change. And I was right. David blew up after this party and I had to go into hiding. When I tell you I was on cloud 9 leading up to that party, I mean it. I was so young and naive and delusionally optimistic. I truly believed that I was going to go to this party and leave rich because it literally seemed like that was happening to the creators around me that attended. I was hyped. I've never been a braggy person, but when you're young and excited, you get consumed by good news and want to talk to your friends and peers about it. So everybody that
Okay, so just right here at this point, crowd, guys, so we don't zone out. What do you think? Are you believing this guy, or do you think that this is this is the reason why he has one of these big plaques on his wall? Like he's selling it, and this is part of the deal.
I chatted with who I knew was a content creator and was in the know about this party, I couldn't help but to tell them. And all the feedback was positive and along the lines of, let me know how it goes, or can you try to get me into the next one? And even some from bigger creators saying, I'll see you there, with like a little smirk on their face. Like they were pumped for me. Except for one conversation with a creator that most of you probably know. This creator is an extremely positive guy, and he's one of the most wholesome, bubbly, genuine guys I met out there. And when I told him the good news, he looked at me like I told him a tsunami was headed towards the building. The usual joy that this man brought to every conversation turned into real fear and concern. And he made me leave the lobby and come up to his apartment before explaining anything to me. Like he was scared that somebody was going to overhear our conversation. When we got up to his apartment, he was just pacing. Like he had no idea how to start this conversation. But when he finally spoke up, all he said was, listen, Doug, I know you're excited, but I'm begging you, please do not go. That man is not who you think he is. He was being so frantic, and I could see tears welling up in this guy's eyes. But I was young, and I thought that I knew everything. I didn't even think the talent agent that sent us the invite was important. I was interested in the connections, and I didn't really care if the talent agent was...
This does not seem... Well, yeah, this is one of his stories, but didn't it seem it seems very scripted, doesn't it? But he's supposed to be telling you this, that you're supposed to, buy in that this is one of his stories, but then when you go to his channel, he's telling stories from a first person perspective. It literally, he'll say at the end of the video, if you enjoy creepy stories from the first person told from the first person perspective, yeah. So it'd be like Mr. Ballin going out there and all the stories he tells like he was there, like it was him. That's my take on this dude's channel, and I could be wrong. But that's my first run through this. That was my take on it. And I didn't even know about this dude or his stories until, in 50-50. Yeah. See how, yeah, right there. Yeah. But we'll let him keep going. I just want to see where you guys stood right now. But, I got it from the other guy. What was his name again? And Afro the Kicks It or something. Afro Kicks or whatever. Art of Kicks. That's it. Art of Kicks. Remind me of that. Art of Kicks. Okay. So anyways, yeah, we'll keep it going. I'm just wondering, like, at this point, right, where people are at. So thanks for chiming in, guys. Here we go.
Or if his intention was to sign me to a bad deal. I thought I'd just say no to any bad contract that he tried to send, but still get to reap all the benefits of the party. So I tried to pry a little bit and ask follow-up questions, but all he gave me was, I have a friend who went and he hasn't been the same since he didn't cooperate. I don't know what he saw or what they did to him, but Doug, I do not want to see.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I should be doing this.
I don't know what he saw or what they did to him.
Wait, hold on. He already has captions.
I do not want to see that happen to you. I start reassuring them that they won't make me do anything that I don't want to do. I don't even drink, let alone take any party. So peer pressure isn't much of an issue for me. I make up a lie to get out of the situation because, to be honest, I selfishly wanted to stay excited about this party. And I really didn't want to hear anything negative about it. So I jokingly told them that I texted him when I got home and that I had to leave to edit some videos tonight. What I was really doing was calling my dad to beg him for $100 to buy a rental suit. Mind you, we were all still poor and I was living in an apartment that I could barely afford. My dad reluctantly sent me the money and I immediately texted David to pick me up tomorrow at 5 p.m. so we could both get our suits before the party and grab food before we head to the party at 11. When David picked me up the next day, he was so excited and in such a great mood that I had to hide my concerns from him, at least while we were shopping for the rental suits. I had to manufacture excitement because David always has his camera out, and I wouldn't just be spoiling the mood, I would be ruining the content that he was trying to record. So I went along with it throughout the shopping process. Our plan was to drop his car off at my apartment, walk to the In-N-Out Burger on Sunset Boulevard, eat, and then change into our suits in the bathroom and hop into the Uber. So we didn't smell like burgers. When we finally sat down to eat, I took that up.
Really? So we didn't smell like burgers? I mean, if this is an add-in to the story, then it's an interesting little tidbit. I mean, it seems like one of those things that are thrown in there to be believable for some reason. Like it doesn't, like if I was telling a story, I wouldn't have put on I wouldn't have added that I wanted, we went to McDonald's and then changed the bathroom so we didn't smell like burgers. Like, does anybody think like that? Any guys think like that out there? I don't think like that. And not to mention, do any guys think like that? I mean, do you care if you smell like? I mean, have you ever walked into a McDonald's and walking out smell like a burger? Like that's the little things like that I catch on to, right? So now I'm like, maybe it was just to make it more colorful. I have no idea. He is a storyteller. He's a story boy. That's his gig. He's like Mr. Ballin, right? He likes to tell stories. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Opportunity to bring up the warning that my friend gave me the day before in his apartment. I told him everything that he said to me and how scared he looked when he said it, and that I was feeling a little bit worried about going to this party. David cut me off before I even got to finish my sentence and firmly said we're going, and then went on a rant about how my friend is a jealous clout chaser and that he's just salty that his content isn't good enough and would never be invited to something like this. He said it in a half serious, half joking tone like he always does when he wants to get his way. Then he finished off by guilting me and saying, Doug, don't ruin this opportunity for us. Please just get through this party for me. I'd never heard anybody talk about my friend that way, but I'd known David for so much longer, so I trusted his judgment.
I think
so I nodded my head and called the Uber. We changed in the bathrooms and hopped into the Uber, and David starts recording again. So I have to pretend to be excited again. But once we got off the side streets and started driving up Laurel Canyon, I started getting anxious and internally panicking. If you're not familiar with Laurel Canyon, it's filled with beautiful homes, but at night it's extremely dark and borderline freaky, especially when you consider all the history with the Manson murders in that area. Part of me feels like we're dropping ourselves off into a setup.
There's the creep, right? Are you really creeped out by that? I mean, it was one house one time many years ago. I don't know. But again, he's doing it for his channel, so it could just be, making good content right here. It could just be being more excitable and dramatic and all of that for the sake of being a good storyteller, so that people will come back to his channel and he gets a lot of views. Some people are weird about that, maybe from their moms. But I had a boss that came in the office and was like, "Sorry if I smell like onions. We just left Sonic." I still think about it. Yeah, I mean, it is weird, isn't it? I don't think about that. Teleprompters are not hard to make, though. Yeah, you can actually just buy one now, so they're really easy. Yeah, you can just a dark sheet of glass or plastic angled so a screen can bounce off it and a camera behind it. Yeah, you were in your 20s when it happened. Sorry if I smell like onions. I that's just like, I don't know. You probably didn't think much of that when you heard it, right? You're like, you're a little insecure, aren't you?
But once we arrive, all of my worries get washed away. We pull into the driveway, and this house
I think he's been wrestling with an elephant or something.
And everyone waiting in line to walk in is smiling and laughing and friendly. So I get excited again. At the door, they take our phones and have us sign an NDA, which isn't uncommon in house parties like this in LA. And they give us a mask and a name tag with funny aliases. My mask looked like a bear, and David's looked like a bird. My alias.
Okay, so that's like right out of a movie, right? That's right out of a movie. Let's see. I don't know. I've heard Laurel Canyon roads are very winding, curvy. I have a relative that used to live in Studio City. I used to go there and visit them all the time when I was younger. I've told a story about like how I went. Their next door neighbor was the I always get this one wrong. I always say the wrong show. Hold on, it wasn't Happy Days. It was Laverne and Shirley. Laverne's dad's girlfriend. Remember the lady that came in later seasons, like Laverne's dad got married? It was her. She lived next door to my relatives, who had a killer house, a great pool, 5 dogs of all varying sizes, a player piano, a slot machine, and all kinds of fun stuff up there. And yeah, they definitely smoked because they would do it right in front of me. And they have people come by and drop it off, all that stuff. They had all kinds of money. They had all kinds of money up there. Because we living up there, they did. They had a Rolls Royce. We'd go around in the Rolls Royce. They had 2 head shops in town. I had a T-shirt from one of their shops for a long time. They were the fun relatives. They like to have fun. And we go to Universal City and all that stuff like that. But they lived next door to the lady who was Laverne's father's girlfriend on the show. And she was a talented actress who played piano and sang. And I went over to her house to meet her. And we sat at her piano and we played songs and sang together. There you go. And I was very little. I was little at the time. Below teen.
This was Stardust, which David got a crack out of, and his was Banshee. We enter what you could call like the lobby of the house, and as we're walking in, the apparent host of the party starts giving a speech. This man is very eccentric and outspoken, and he's got the cadence of a late night show host, and I spot the agent that invited us standing right behind him. The speech was basically just encouraging everybody to have fun and explaining the itinerary of the night. Apparently, this was a themed room party, and all of the guests were instructed to move to the next room whenever the grandfather clock chimed. He wrapped up his speech with some cheeky joke, and then one line that still irks me to this day. He said, "Have fun now. Our descent starts at midnight." I tried to give David the eyes that I didn't like where this party was going. This type of behavior from people that I saw as adults made me extremely uncomfortable. The moment the host wrapped up his speech, a couple of workers came out of the doorway. They were holding a couple sets of long poles. All of a sudden, music started playing, and everybody seemed like they knew what was going on. So I just went along with it. So I guess these parties start off with a big game of limbo. It's funny seeing people dressed so nicely playing a silly child's game, but it's even weirder seeing A-list celebrities being so excited to play. Because everybody had masks on, but when somebody that you grew up watching in movies walks by you with a quarter of their face covered, you still know it's them. I was amazed with how inviting and willing to introduce themselves these people were. I was expecting at least an undertone of uppityness in them, but it seemed like everybody was involving everybody in conversation, and they were frequently introducing themselves.
I also find it weird he's not dropping any names at all. So, like, yeah, I'm surprised he's not name dropping anyone at all. You know, we got David, his friend, and that's about it. But I mean, he says there's a room full of celebrities wearing masks and being friendly to him. Like, nothing? I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to be polite. I don't know.
To me with their alias, of course. The only thing weird about it was something that I didn't notice until the third person did it. When they shook my hand, they pressed their thumb into the soft part between my thumb and my pointer finger. And I only recognized the pattern because the third guy gave me a big smile and said, "This must be your first time here." In retrospect, this should have alarmed me, but it seemed like they got friendlier when they realized that it was my first time here. So I didn't really think anything of it. But before I got to ask any follow-up questions about this odd handshake, the first grandfather clock chime went off, and everybody excitedly rushed into the second room. When I finally got in there, I was taken aback by the dramatic decor change. Everything in this room was different shades of blue. The music was romantic, and all the furniture was cabana beds and love seats. I stood there for a second trying to realize what was different, but I couldn't put my finger on it until some girl walked by and caressed my shoulder in a really flirty manner. The decor changed, but the way everybody was acting was drastically different. Before, everybody seemed to be outgoing and inviting and friendly, but the second they stepped foot into this room, they became touchy, flirty, and suggestive. I was only 19 at the time, so this type of behavior from people that I saw as adults made me extremely uncomfortable, especially when I saw that the cabana beds had curtains that you could close for privacy. And I realized that these people weren't just being suggestive, they meant it. I tried to give David the eyes that I didn't like where this party was going, but he seemed to be really enjoying the female attention, so I was on my own. I basically stayed in perpetual motion and walked laps until the next chime went off, so I didn't have to sit next to anybody for too long and let them get too comfortable. The clock finally went off and everybody rushed to the next room immediately. The weirdest part was the people that were in the private sections didn't even bother redressing except for the mask. I was in no rush to get to the next room, but I could see into it over the crowd of everybody's head. The walls were bright orange, but the smells that were wafting in from that room were amazing. And when I finally got in there, it was like the Hogwarts feast. It was table after table of the most delicious spreads I've ever seen. There was full tables for seafood, full tables for meats, full tables of sushi, and an entire wall of spirits. I almost started enjoying myself again until I saw the way these people were treating this food. They were disrespectfully biting chunks out of delicious prime rib roasts. They were just shoving copious amounts of high-grade sashimi into their mouths and eating caviar like it was cereal. The way that they were just grabbing with their hands and just spitting out things that they didn't like onto the floor ruined my appetite. At this
Spirits? Right? Okay, see what I'm saying? As it goes along, it just doesn't feel like a real story at some point. I mean, it's told in a very, very, very dramatic way. He's trying to be convincing, but I just there's certain parts about it like did just jump out at me. So I'm glad we're watching this together. Daisy's lurking while charging and playing with puppies. Okay, good. All right. See, I don't remember the pilot either. Okay. Yeah, seven deadly sins room. Yep. Sounds like it, doesn't it? See, Shelly already kind of caught on to what I think it was about too. It's suspenseful and sexy. Oh wow, you should have held off. Oh, hold on. That's the In-N-Out Burger comments. Okay, let's continue.
point, I wanted
Spirits.
nothing to do with these people. At this
Who says spirits? Does anybody here refer to alcohol as spirits? Just if you do, let me know in the chat.
point, I wanted nothing to do with these people. So I went up to the only familiar face in the room. The agent that invited me was the only other person not eating. So I approached him and lifted up my mask so he'd recognize me, considering we'd only met one time. Before I even got out my greeting or got my mask halfway off my face, he abruptly pressed my mask back into place and sharply said, "Mask stay on until the 6th room." He did it in a way that seemed like I was embarrassing him for not knowing the rules. So to ease the tension, I jokingly replied, "So we're only halfway there, huh?" He didn't laugh or make eye contact. He just dismissively replied, "I encourage you to engage in the festivities. A slow drip is better than a flood." He started to walk towards the door as the clock chimed for the next room, like he knew it was about to go off. I didn't like that interaction at all. He's the one that invited me here, and he seemed to have no interest in talking to me. I just kept going over what he said the entire time while we were in the next room. This room was yellow and basically just a casino. I wanted to talk to David privately and let him know that I wanted to leave, but he seemed to just be caught up in the momentum of the party. Plus, there was a roulette table in the room, and David's freakishly good at roulette. So at this point, the winning streak that he's building is the center point of the party. I can't fully focus on what the agent said to me because I have to pretend to be excited about David's winning streak in a fake casino where you're not actually winning money. And like clockwork, the chime goes off. The entire party starts rushing to the next room again, and the vibe changes dramatically. I'm the last person to walk into the bright red room. This room didn't seem to have a specific activity like the others. It was just empty and bright red, and everybody was whispering to each other. For a split second, I thought it might be a big game of telephone or something silly like that. But as I started walking through and brushing shoulders with these people and hearing what they were saying to each other, I started questioning everything. The same people that I saw laughing and celebrating and eating together were whispering the most heinous, offensive comments directly to each other. I mean, things that you wouldn't even say behind your friend's back, they were saying it to their face. I'm talking friendship-ending secrets and personal opinions about each other laced with envy and jealousy. I hurried to a quiet corner because I was sick of hearing everybody's dirty laundry after walking around for a minute and a half. And it all clicked. I knew exactly what this party was. I see the host ask the first person in line a question before having them repeat something that he said. When I tell you I am done with this party, I'm absolutely not doing that. All the dots start connecting in my head while everybody's being horrible to each other around me. I'm trying to recap the whole night and remember the order of each room to solidify my suspicions. But the chime for the next room goes off. This time, everybody gets eerily quiet and calm, like they got all of their venom out. The host of the party announces for all of the newcomers to come to the front. All of the attendees form a single file line in front of the next room's door. There's about 10 other newcomers in front of me and David, and the agent that invited us is standing to the left of the door, and the host of the party is standing to the right. The host has a pile of books on the table next to him. I see the host ask the first person in line a question and then grab a book based on his answer. He would present the book to the person and place a diamond-shaped metal symbol on top of it before having them repeat something that he said. Then he'd take their mask off and let them enter the next room. I couldn't make out exactly what he was doing until there was only 2 people ahead of me in line. The books were Bibles, Qurans, Torahs, and so on. He would ask the person, "And which one is yours?" Whichever they chose, he'd grab it and place the metal symbol on top of it. He'd have you put your hand on top of the metal symbol and then repeat, "I am my own God. I bow to nobody but myself." When I tell you I am done with this party, and I whip my head around and I tell David I'm absolutely not doing that. David whispered back in a joking tone like he always does, "Dude, it's just a party. Who cares? I'll see you in the next room." And he skipped me in line to show me that he'd do it first to make me feel more comfortable. He went through with it and giggled his way into the next room. It was my turn, so I tried to play it cool and whisper to the host, "Do you mind if I skip this part? It's making me a little bit uncomfortable." I thought he'd subtly break character and reassure me that this is just a party theme and it's all good. Instead, he whispered back to me in a really kind tone, "Of course, man, don't worry about it. Just take your mask off and turn around." I was relieved for about a split second before the agent that invited me here grabbed my arm and started guiding me towards the exit. And I see that everybody that was behind me in line staring at me straight-faced. I look back at the host and he's standing up and loudly shouts like he's starting a chant. The price was not paid. And then everybody in line that was staring at me chants in unison like they knew exactly what to do. "Remove the profane." And they repeated over and over until I'm through the exit door. "The price was not paid. Remove the profane. The price was not paid. Remove the profane." So the agent just walks me to the closest door. He doesn't even walk me to the
Yeah, so they start into this chant, right? So now it's feeling really culty, right? It goes from a party to a cult really fast. Well, I mean, it already kind of seemed a little bit, a little bit weird to start out with. So as the rooms go by, it starts getting weirder and weirder. And now they're all chanting together and they all know what to say. Kind of, yeah, it definitely does. It's got elements of a lot of different things kind of mixed in, doesn't it? But yeah, keep track of the rooms.
front of the party and out the front door. He just puts me out into the backyard. It's 4 a.m. My friend's still inside. I don't have my phone. So I decide to walk around the right side of the house because that's where all of the party attendees were kind of headed. Let me see if I can peek in and maybe flag down David to let him know I got kicked out. And there's some windows to the next room. But of course, these windows are like big church stained glass windows. And you can't really see through stained glass windows like the colored ones. But if you go really, really close and you look through the white parts, you could kind of see clearly what is on the inside. And this room is like a bizarre church replica without all of the seating. It's just a big church-like room. And all of the people that were in there had their masks off. And it was like a big circle and almost looked like an initiation. And all of these celebrities are standing around in a circle around the other 9 new people. It was 10 excluding me. And there was big TV grade cameras recording. And it looked like the group of celebrities and everybody else that was there was kind of cheering them on. But then there was clearly people in there that were much more serious and kind of threatening. And the 10 new people were in the middle of this room being forced to do horrible things that I wish I could unsee. And the new people clearly didn't want to do these things. They were being forced to do these things. And they were clearly recording it. And I see my friend being forced to do these horrible things in front of these people and in front of these cameras. cameras. I just start panicking. I don't know what to do. So in my head, I'm like, I just need to get out of here. So I start speed walking to the front of the house, and I'm thinking I need to get out of this gate. There's only one street. We're on Laurel Canyon, so it's either I go left and start running towards Studio City, or I go right and start running towards West Hollywood. I'm not about to go knock on other people's doors. I'm just trying to get back to like civilization. And I'm trying to remember if we're closer to Studio City or if we're closer to West Hollywood. I don't even know. As I get to the front of the house, one of the employees is standing there, and he's standing in front of a car, and he has my phone. I'm not sure if he knows that I just saw everything, so I'm kind of standing there deer in headlights, but he just politely goes, here's your phone and here's your ride. Don't worry, the driver will take you home. So I take my phone and I sit in the car, and I'm trying to gauge to see if this driver has any malicious intent, but he doesn't seem to. And within the first 3 minutes, I know that they don't think I saw anything. They were just getting my stuff prepared and my car prepared to take me home, because they're under the impression that I didn't see anything too bad. And I got kicked out before any horrible things started happening to people inside of this party. So I get in the car and I'm checking my phone, and my phone is fully charged when I got here. So I don't know what they did, but my phone won't turn on. I have to sit through this 30-minute car ride. One of my best friends is back at this party getting mistreated and recorded doing horrible things, and I can't tell anybody. So I get through this 30-minute horrible suspense-filled car ride thinking about all of the people that were so nice to me inside of this party, and the whole intent of this party was to butter me up to get me to do these horrible things. And when I finally get back to my apartment, I run upstairs, I plug my phone into the charger, and the first texts that come through are from my friend Joe. And I completely forgot that my friend Joe was coming to visit me. He was coming on a little mini vacation, and I was going to play tour guide and show him around the city. So now I'm thinking I only have like 4.5 hours to sleep before I have to go pick up my friend from the airport, and I still don't know if my other friend is okay. So I'm blowing up David's phone because he's still at this party, but I set a timer so I get to the airport to pick up my other friend. So I barely get any sleep. I drive to LAX to go pick up Joe, and I drive him back to my apartment. And when I'm coming back into my apartment, David's in the lobby, and he's talking to some other big creators, like bouncing video ideas. It's like 9:30, 10 a.m. at this point, so we're just kind of having coffee by the cafe and chatting. I tell Joe to go upstairs to my apartment and drop off his luggage, and I go ask David if I could talk to him really quick. I'm clearly very distressed, and he's being very jokey with me, and he doesn't seem like anything bad happened, and he's just kind of making fun of me for getting kicked out of the party. I'm just letting him talk for a little bit, and I finally tell him I was looking in through the next window. I saw what they made him do, and I was just asking him if he's okay. And the second I said that, he immediately switched on me, and he started damn near cussing me out and saying friendship ending things, and his eyes turned from happy and giddy to filled with almost fear and a little bit of betrayal. When he stormed off, he pulled out his phone and he was calling somebody as if he was like reporting something back to them. I immediately start freaking out. I assume that he's telling me that I saw what they did, and now I have my friend upstairs who thinks he's just on vacation when I just saw hyper successful rich people doing unspeakable acts, and they have all of the resources to come after me. They know where I live, and David isn't even on my side because the dirt that they have on him now. I have to pretend that everything's okay to Joe because he flew all the way out here for a vacation, and I don't even really know how bad the situation is. I don't even know how to tell him about everything that happened the night before. And I promised Joe that we were going to go to Runyon Canyon this morning. So he goes and changes into hiking gear, and I drive him over to Runyon Canyon. We do the hike for a few hours, and when we come back and I check my mail, there's another letter from these people, and I take it to the bathroom because I don't even want Joe to see it. And it's a screenshot of the surveillance footage of me looking in through the window, and a little handwritten note, just a reminder of the worst mistake you've ever made. Curiosity killed the cat. And I start freaking out. I know that David just betrayed me and told them that I saw, and now they have proof that I saw. Now I'm just a walking liability to them, and now they're threatening me, and that was the worst mistake that I've ever made, and insinuating that curiosity killed the cat. I'm the cat, but it's still not enough to tell Joe about what happened. So I just go on with this charade, and I'm just playing tourist, bringing my friend around the city. And the first day, nothing happened. And to this day, I firmly believe that the only reason they didn't do anything to me is because Joe was there with me that whole week, and he had just finished the police academy. He was officially a police officer. So I think me being with him is the only thing that kept me safe, because they weren't willing to do anything to a police officer. And I knew for sure they were keeping an eye on me the next day, because Joe asked me the night before if I had half and half for our coffees the next morning, and I didn't have any half and half. And he just jokingly said, who has coffee and doesn't have half and half? It was a conversation in passing. It was a joke. And the next morning we woke up and there was a full half and half in my fridge. And the only reason I noticed that is because Joe said, thanks for running out early and grabbing half and half. You didn't have to do that. I was kidding. I didn't go and grab that half and half. I knew that somebody was not only listening, but entered my apartment that night while we were.
Okay, so now this is turning into like gang stalking kind of thing, right? So now it's turned into like a culty gang stalking kind of scenario here. And the only reason he's saying that nothing happened to him is because his friend just happened to be happened to be a police officer. He just graduated from the police academy. So this is why he thinks that, you know, something worse didn't happen.
Sleep. And then they started to do these things that only I would notice. Things that if you told anybody, they would look at you like you were crazy. Each night that we came home and we were just winding down and watching TV, I would go to turn my TV on and the remote control wouldn't work. And I would check the batteries, and the batteries would be switched from positive to negative and negative to positive. Like they came into my house and just flipped my batteries. I know that my remote control worked the day before, and they just needed me to know that they were in my house and flipped my batteries, just to let me know that they were invading my privacy on a daily basis. And then it started escalating to when I would take Joe to lunch, or we would pop to the grocery store, or we would go to the movies, and we would come back to the car, and my left blinker would be on. They would just open my car and put it down. And every time we would come back to the car, my left turning signal would be on. It happened like 6 times. How can I tell anybody that somebody broke into my car and turned my left signal down? It's something that only I would notice. And I can't tell Joe because I'm not trying to scare him. And it's also something that I don't even think he would take seriously. He would probably say, you probably hit it down when you were stepping out of the car. And then things started to pick up. They started to do very specific things to me that weren't just by chance. We came home one day and I locked the door behind me like I was doing every time because I was super, super paranoid. My apartment door lock just locked swiftly. My apartment door lock.
Yeah. Okay. So I hear you, Mimsy. And I'm thinking too to myself is like, well, if it was that bad, why are you talking about it now? And they know who you are. They know they can get into your house. They can get into your car. They can get into anywhere. Why are you talking about it now? Aren't you still freaked out? Aren't you still a little worried? Aren't you kind of like, well, I'm glad I got out of that one, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut from now on so that nothing else like that happens again. Interesting.
Doesn't lock swiftly. I would have to like press into it and jiggle it and force it to lock. And it's been like that since I moved in. And it had this sharp little nub on the front that I would feel with my thumb every single day. And one of the days we came home and it just smoothly locked and the nub wasn't there. So they were letting me know that I can't even lock them out. But how do I tell anybody that they're doing this to me? Because they would just say the apartment was probably aware of it and changed it. And I still wasn't able to tell Joe because I would think that he would come to the same conclusion. But then the next day we go to the car to go to breakfast and we get into my old car that I've had for 5 or 6 years at the time. And I grab my gear shifter and I go to pull it into reverse and it smoothly goes from park to reverse. And my gear shifter doesn't smoothly go from park to reverse. You have to wiggle it in a certain way. You have to press the button with your thumb in a certain way to get it into reverse. I only know this because I drove this car every single day for 5 years and this gear shifter is pretty much broken. It's an old car. And that morning I got into my car and it smoothly went from park to reverse and the wooden finish on the gear shifter was different. Mine had scratches on it and this one was brand new. So they were telling me not only are they able to just break into my car and turn the left signal down, they're also willing to manipulate my car. Now I know for sure Joe isn't safe either, and me not telling him these things puts him into danger because I'm driving him around in this car. And if they could change my gear shifter, why wouldn't they be able to cut my brakes? So I basically just break down and I have to tell Joe everything from start to finish about this weird party with this weird agent and the little things that I've been noticing all week and that this was the last straw. And Joe believed me because we used to drive around in my car together all of the time and sometimes he would drive my car and he made me promise that I did not get that fixed. The gear shifter was still broken yesterday and it's fixed today and I didn't do that. So that won him over and he basically said, we need to get out of here. It shook him too. He didn't like the idea of these people in the house. When I told him I didn't get the half and half, when I told him all of these things that were adding up over the last couple of days, it freaked him out. He's like, bro, we got to go back to your apartment. We got to get your stuff. We got to get you out of here. Then my entire world is shattering. I moved out here and all of these things were going great for me and I had a place and I had friends and I didn't want to leave. Maybe this stuff will die out. I'll be able to work with other people. It's going to be okay. I don't want to just leave my apartment, leave all my stuff. But Joe insisted that we went back to my apartment to grab his stuff and mine and then go stay at a motel before he leaves the next day. And when we got to my apartment, David was in the lobby with other creators by the cafe again. And I went up to him. I didn't really have any idea about what I was going to say to him. All he did was hand me a coffee, ignore everything that I said and walk away. But then when I looked at the coffee, it had a little napkin wrapped around it. I saw that something was written in Sharpie on the napkin. It said, I'm so sorry. You have to leave tomorrow with him. Otherwise it's me and you. And I went upstairs and I packed a couple backpacks and I left LA the next morning with my friend and I never went back. Joe and I rushed out of that city as fast as we could. I packed as much of my stuff as I could and we just started driving. We were both genuinely scared for our safety at that point. So we decided to skip Joe's scheduled flight and just drive to Las Vegas. And then we were just going to fly home from there. There was something that just felt comforting about being out of the state. Not to mention Joe wanted a real briefing about what went down because I had just basically told him the cliff notes and begged him to believe me so that we could pick up and leave as soon as possible. For the first 2 hours of the drive, we primarily
love the AI stuff you put in there.
Make sure that we didn't take any wrong turns to further extend this trip. There were a few cars that made me feel like we were being followed, but it was just my paranoia enhancing an A-type personality driver into a stalker. Once we were out of California state lines and into Nevada, we could both finally exhale. I felt real relief wash over me for the first time since I got kicked out of that party. We stopped about 15 minutes into Nevada at a pit stop. We used their Wi-Fi to book a hotel for Vegas that night, along with the plane tickets for the next morning. Once we had our escape plan fully booked, Joe just started laughing and I couldn't help but just start laughing too. We shared a lot of crazy stories growing up and we always seemed to find ourselves in sticky situations together. So it was just hilarious that his fun trip to visit me turned into this. It felt really good to laugh about it because it made me feel like it was finally over. We got back into the car to continue our drive and Joe playfully said, so you have 1 hour to explain to me why we're fleeing Los Angeles over some half and half and a gear shifter before we get to Vegas and we make this trip worth it. I realized how bizarre this whole situation must have looked from his perspective. He flew in for a fun vacation and arrived to see his friend in a crisis. As I started to explain to him the series of events, things really started to click for me, especially with his input as a police officer. I'm going to recap some of the events that I had already explained, but with the conclusions that we came to together. Clearly, the man that invited us to the party was a predator, and we were just perfect targets for him. We were young kids with enough of a following on socials to influence all of the other young creators in the area. We had just made a major change in our life by moving across the country, and we were completely isolated from our families who we could consult with about important decision making. And we were in a bad financial situation because at the time, just having a following on the internet didn't equal revenue. We were perfect targets to be indoctrinated into a system where they could have full control over our budding careers.
And he's showing Logan Paul.
Exactly what cult-like communities look for potential members. years. Not to mention, we were in LA trying to make a career in entertainment, and it seemed like they held the key to our dreams. As I was explaining to Joe the invitation and how it showed up to my house, we came to the conclusion that this guy approaching us at that party was not a coincidence. He had to have been scouting us prior to the time that I thought that we just met by chance. The party itself was a trap as well. When I finally had the chance to process what he said to me about the slow drip is better than a flood, it really started to make sense. Each room was designed to slowly introduce you into giving into temptation and sin. Everybody there being so nice and inviting was clearly on purpose. Seeing all of these people that you've looked up to for years indulging in these temptations of each room and inviting you to join in with them is perfect peer pressure. You don't want to let your idols down, so you voluntarily engage in an activity in each room that just gets progressively worse and worse. And of course, they start with flirtiness and overeating delicious food. And of course, spirits, because those things are so easy to give into. But the temptations of the night keep getting worse as you go on. He wanted me to feel the slow drip, so when it was time to commit the heinous acts of the 6th room, it didn't feel like a flood. It's clear why they kicked me out when they did. I wasn't indulging the way everybody else had. And when it came to the time to defame my religion, it was the last straw. Most people, like myself, would think it was just part of the party theme. But to them, it's the test to see if you're broken down enough to defame your religion for the fun of the party. That's why the 6th room was the flood. It was dramatically worse than the rooms that I had experienced. And the only way somebody would give into the peer pressure to do what they were doing in that room is them being primed to do so with everything that happened before and had just spoken the words that they're not God-fearing. I realized that the people that would go to that party didn't just blow up overnight because of the power of that little cultish group. They scouted young creators like myself and David, who they believed were going to blow up regardless of their help, and get them to commit heinous acts on camera. So when they did eventually blow up, they had the perfect blackmail on them to control them. They would try to get to you early, so before you were making money independently, so that they could control you. Because if you were already established and wealthy, why would you even care about going to a party like this? You just don't care. It's too late for them to infiltrate your life. Do they?
But they're already there, so I guess everybody there was blackmailed. Look at, he keeps showing Logan Paul. This is Logan Paul holding up his U.S. championship.
Help you with big collaborations? Yeah, but these collaborations are built off of fear and trauma. That's how they keep their group so tight. You can't get into this group.
Trying to say Logan Paul was there?
Horrible things. They kicked me out and let me leave because they thought I actually didn't see anything too bad. From the outside perspective, I had just gone to a cool A-list party in a beautiful home filled with beautiful people and amazing food. I couldn't say anything bad about it publicly without sounding bitter that I got kicked out. That's how groups like this need to operate. From the outside looking in, it has to look amazing and wonderful to be a part of. From the inside, they need blackmail that's so bad on you that you can never speak out against it without getting your reputation destroyed. It made sense why they went after me the way they did. They need to do things to me that only I would notice because they couldn't be seen openly harassing. It would make them look bad. So they had to infiltrate my privacy and scare me secretly. I still don't know how far they would have gone to get me to leave the city, if they would get violent or try to get me to fall victim to an accident. But they wanted to scare me out of the city. And I thought back to my very kind friend that warned me about this part and how secretive he was being about how much he knew about it. He couldn't just openly say how weird those people were because it would make him a target. He just knew that if he kindly declined their offers and acted like he knew nothing about them, he could go about pursuing his career unbothered. And it really made sense why they would target potential big creators as well. Because if the kid with the most clout is a part of this group and the only way to collaborate with him was to go through the same indoctrination, they would be able to control an entire generation of creators. To be honest, they're very good at what they do. There was a clear system that they followed, and the way that they approached harassing me out of the city, it was done at a professional level. Joe told me that it's called gang stalking and that most of the time it actually isn't happening. And what I mean by that is most of the time that somebody reports that a crime like this is being committed, it's actually a paranoid schizophrenic having an episode. So they harass you in a way that even the police department would consider it a mental disorder opposed to gang stalking. Everything about the way these people operate is cult-like, and everything that they do is intentional. I was never even a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but my perspective on show business in Hollywood completely changed on the way to Vegas. All the dots connected, and I saw how truly evil some people in that industry actually are. And when I got to Vegas, I started to see how openly they show it. I know I've spent this whole time talking about how secret and exclusive this party was and how everybody that knows about it has their lips zip shut. But when we had arrived at our hotel near the strip, I started looking around at the big signs and promotions, and they really don't hide. There was cultish symbolism in all of the music, live performances, and movie trailers. What used to look like just cool designs and eccentric artists was blatant symbolism for what was actually going on. I will never look at showbiz the same after that. I'm extremely happy being an independent artist, safe in the middle of the country, away from those cultish hedonists. I never received another letter or heard from David again. But what I can tell you is that everybody that was affiliated with that group became massively famous, but everybody involved fell as hard as they ascended and have had even more massive controversies. And to anybody pursuing a life in the arts or social media, do not fall into this trap. They will promise you everything that you've ever wanted, but they'll take it away whenever they please. And I promise you will hurt the people around you in the process. Welcome to the society. Guys, if you enjoyed this story and you want to watch more, I have plenty of full stories and episodes on the channel. We have the stairs, the giggler, and we got a couple more coming. So if you haven't subscribed already, I would deeply appreciate if you did. Of course, like this video. I'm an independent artist, so your likes and subscribes and comments mean way more to me than they would to a cultish hedonist.
Yeah, so this is what he does. This is what he does, you know. And part 3, the 6th room. This is like an hour. I'll watch another hour of this. No thanks. But yeah, we get the idea, right? And he already said he didn't want to talk about the 6th room. He thought it was weird. All right. So so you go. So I put a poll out there in the chat. Go ahead and tell me whether you think it's fake or real. So we got somebody thinks it's real out there. All right. Let's see. I answer some questions now. Let's see. Yeah, he definitely was reading a script. Some of the word choices are very, very weird. Some of the add-ons to the story very weird. And I swear to God, all right, this is only 11 minutes. We kind of saw this in the beginning a little bit. So if you want to watch why he won't, I just don't. Hold on. Oh, hold on. He produces some evidence here. Let's see. We have to watch it now. All right. So he's gonna pull the letter out, I guess, here at the end.
Yeah.
So let's see. We're gonna continue with this. We'll get to the bottom of it. Let's see. Let me read some more. I don't know that anybody died at the party. He's just talking about a party that he was invited to when he was living in LA, and that it was basically he'd been targeted because he thought they were going to be he was going to be an up and coming YouTuber, him and his friend. All right. All right. Sorry. I doubt the premise of his, I don't doubt the premise of his story. However, I highly doubt he experienced it himself. That's a possibility. Yeah, he could be reading someone else's story. That's probably a good call. That's what I think he does. I think his channel is about him reading other people's stories in first person. That's the impression I get. I'm thinking the same thing because this sounds like a story about someone that died in 2019. Well, who is it? Who died in 2019? Is there a story that I'm missing? Hook me up. Maybe it did happen, but to someone he knows. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be fiction. I do too. All the way around, even if he's reading someone else's fiction. Mimsy says, Angry agrees with Mimsy. The guy that didn't unalive himself in prison. Hold on. Hey, wait. Hey, has an island. Oh, it's about Epi. JP. Yeah. Okay. JE. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. I get the same impression when he's reading other people's stories first person. Yeah, that's what I think too. Which kind of leads me back to the how I started on this, is that Homeboy was believing it, right? So he put out a video that got like 250,000 views, believing this, and then he said after the fact, we can listen to what he has to say because I want to hear what his crazy story was about why he's going to delete this video soon. Of course, I think it's just more clickbait, but we'll see what his thing is, because like he said in his video, a lot of people that believe they're being gang stalked are really just having like minor or major schizophrenic episodes, where they're believing things are happening there aren't. I can totally believe that. So this is only, let's see, closed caption. This is only 11 minutes. We'll see what he came back and said after people started questioning it. And like I said, at the end of this, he pulls out some kind of envelope and some kind of letter. So we'll see what that says too. We'll take a look at that.
It's not cool. I guess we're just going to move on here. And I just kind of let it go. I just let it slide. I just moved on with my life. I just kept making other content. But in this past month, it blew up. It blew up on YouTube. So I decided to re-upload it to TikTok, and it went crazy. And so many people were asking me so many things. People were accusing me of things. People were trying to find inconsistencies in the story. People were being outright victim blamers. And I kind of realized why it just blew up recently with everything that's going on with Diddy, Ryan Garcia, and the Drake Bell stuff. So I kind of see why the public attention is on it. But one of the main accusations was that I did this after all of that stuff. But if you...
I'm proud of everybody here. No one here has victim blamed him once. I'm very proud of the crowd here, man. No one's victim blaming anybody. So we're still listening.
Go check when I uploaded this video. It was over 3 months ago. I uploaded it before any of these people came out, before any of these accusations, before any of this stuff was released. And I know there's been similar stories and people say similar things about weird stuff that happens in LA. But I don't think anybody has put out such a detailed account of the stuff that happens there. And that kind of moves me on to my next point. There's a couple things I want to address in this, and I just want to clear up everything for you guys. I'm going to go over all of the most common comments that I got, the most common accusations that I got, just what it seems like you guys want to know the most about. And I'm not sure how much more detailed I could really be about the party in general or the entire experience in general. I could definitely go into more of the stuff of how they were messing with me after. Let me know if you guys want to hear that. But a lot of people are telling me to say what I saw in the 6th room. And that confuses me a little bit because I don't know why you guys want me to say it. Do you guys want me to give you like vivid, horrible descriptions of illegal activities that are like disgusting and done to people that they shouldn't be done to? That's a bit weird to me. You want to hear those words come out of my mouth. I don't want to describe it to you. It's grotesque. It's disgusting. It's hideous. It's heinous. Stuff that they do is unspeakable. It's like gross. And they record it so they could hold it over you for your entire life. So for the people that are saying, say what they did, I want to hear it come out of your mouth. That's gross. It's a little bit weird that you so desperately want me to explain to you what I saw. What I saw was horrible. What I saw was illegal. And what I saw was inhumane. And I don't want to say it. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't want to describe it to you. It's gross. It's not something cool to say on the internet. You could look at some of the stuff that Ryan was saying. He was being a little bit more graphic than I'm going to be here. For the people that are like, say it, I don't believe you unless you vividly describe
Ryan.
horrible
Who's
thing.
Ryan?
You're gross. Go to the dark web. Figure something out. Like, clearly you guys want to watch something horrible. And
Now look, he's like, isn't he just turning it on the crowd here for being curious? I mean, just wanting to understand what his definition of horrible is. He's still not giving any answers on that, but evidently he has some strong feelings about it. Still kind of like, letting it be what it is. I bet it involved animals. Okay, so you guys out there in the crowd, tell me what you think went on at that party. When he says the worst things ever, I mean, crimes. Well, if you witness crimes and you didn't report it, isn't that a crime? I mean, that's the only thing I would say. It's like, maybe you should have told somebody. I mean, with children involved, if they were and you didn't say anything, shame on you. Maybe it was too dangerous. Maybe all the I don't know. Why wouldn't you at least try to, without describing it verbatim, try to give people a better impression of what you saw in there? I think that the vague descriptions are why people are asking for a better idea of what you saw, without having to go all the way into gritty details that will get you in trouble. Why not just like kind of frame it in such a way? Well, there was this, Mr. Ed was a celebrity, things like that. And you could probably be a little bit more creative.
You want to hear something horrible, I'm not going to give that to you. Another thing that people were asking me to do was to drop names of people that I saw at that party. And I'm not sure why you want me to do that either. Because if you look at all of the people that you see as celebrities, it is so blatantly clear who is involved and who is not. So I'm not really sure why you guys want me to call people out publicly. And I don't know.
I don't think that it is. I don't think that it's blatantly obvious. Does anybody here think it's blatantly obvious? Okay, yeah. I mean, I've actually looked into the Ryan Garcia stuff. I have been looking at that, and I did look at some updated footage of people breaking into Bohemian Grove. Like, if you click on this video, that's the algorithm you'll get. Like, talking about putting a rapper on this thing. When I clicked on this video, I started getting into that algorithm. So all of a sudden I started seeing I'm getting all kinds of things about from Christian to satanic rituals. Like, I mean, I'm getting, today I had the shout of Taran in my feed, right? I had all kinds of things. It's like, it opened up this whole algorithm to this satanic Christian rap, content.
Why you would want me to do that for my sake. Because if I start saying these things publicly about very specific people, they're going to sue me for defamation. They're going to come after me with resources that I don't have. I don't have the resources to defend myself from these people. So I'm not sure why you exactly want me to do that. I'm just telling you what happened and how they operate. And I'm just giving you the information of how that world works.
Well, you know what? Cat ain't scared. Cat, maybe you should go to Cat Williams and hang out with him, because he doesn't care. he'll tell everybody. He don't care, and I think that he's probably in a lot more danger than someone like you. For he's talking about provable things, though. He's talking about, again, it comes down to provable things. You look at the P Diddy thing. I said I'd talk about P Diddy a little bit because I was originally going to do an entire stream on him, but you look at the way it trickles down from 50 Cent is blowing it up, but from Jay-Z to P Diddy to Will Smith to the whole to people in the show, to Usher, to people in the show Empire. Remember Jesse Smollett? Well, there's another guy on that show named Balin. I had his name up here earlier. What was it? Let me go to my history. Let me see real quick. This will be helpful. What was his name here? Brashear Gary. He came out to do, and he says he's a victim of Will Smith and P Diddy today. You know, he came out recently and said that. I don't know if it was today, but recently he said that, and he was on Empire, the show Empire. And he said that they forcibly, YouTube word, grape me. So, so yeah, so there's a whole twisted turn little scene going on there with that manufactured music, rap music industry, Hollywood, rappers becoming celebrities and becoming actors and all that stuff. There's a whole little twisted little club going on there, right? So, but if Cat Williams is willing to go out there and put his life on the line and say it, and it's all blowing up now, you're probably in the safest area you could ever be to actually say, these are the people. Get your friend David to come on and talk about it. You know, if it's really that important or really that, you know, you feel like people need to know it. Otherwise, I think it's like, you know, you just want to get people to go to your channel, or it's interesting as hell if it's real. Presentation leaves a lot to be desired in a sense that, but it's probably how you present all your work, right? So I'm not dogging it. If it's just for entertainment, I get it, man. I get it. It's entertaining. Talking Trash Two says, I get loads of Gaia feeds after hitting not interested and don't recommend this creator. I know. That was the UFO alien rabbit hole that we went down. It led us to the Gaia network and what they're doing today. Cat's brain is fried. He's old now. He don't give an F anymore. You could do several shows, re P Diddy and all this stuff he's allegedly being involved with. I know, you know, it's funny, and just to be completely transparent, when I go to do that show, for some reason I don't want. It's just like the energy to put it out there is not there. It's like, if you guys are seriously, truly interested in it, let me know in the chat right now, because I do have everything worked up to do it. But I just, like, for some reason I start to get into it. I'm like, well, I feel like a lot of the information repeats, and there's still more to be learned, you know, about it before actually rushing out for judgment on it. Not that I don't think that a lot of it is true, but something keeps keeping me from doing it, and it's an energy kind of feeling. Like I feel like I was gonna do it today, and I'm like, it's just, yeah, I'm hearing this a lot. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. But if for some reason something pops up and it's ready to go, have the backstory ready. And it's just a deep dive on things that I don't normally cover on the channel. It gets into celebrity stuff. I think that may be part of it. I really don't get into celebrity gossip or celebrity issues. What we got to focus on, guys, these cults, these dark organizations, the corruption is the root cause, right? I've been talking about this since the beginning. My objective is to call out the corruption, to call out the mechanism of corruption, to unrig the game, right? That corruption rigs, and for long-term solutions, right? The long-term solutions to eliminate to removing the enablement of corruption on a generational level, right? We have to fight what's in front of us, the clear and present danger, so that we have a future where we can fight to remove that enablement, right? It's a long-term battle. I never said there's one way to go to do this, or there's one decisive action we have to take that's going to fix this problem generationally. No, it's a generational battle. It's going to take generational work. What's in front of us to resist the changes that are coming, that are harmful to us, that will enslave us, that will put us into a different reality, but we will lose this reality, is what I focus on other than the long-term solutions, right? It's a build-up to that. It's teaching people the skills to overcome mind control, to teaching people the skills to not fall for the COINTELPRO grifts, right? On the outside of the first veil. It's teaching people the skills to identify the mechanisms from what I've learned, and to have the tools to resist it, like the trivium and other things, like education, repairing the history, all that stuff. So that's what I'm doing here, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So I don't get into celebrity stuff too much, you know. That's why I don't do some of the other things. Like I did one little thing on the Hales, and that was it, because a lot of people came over from Susie's chat, and I wanted to give a background to you guys, who I know that probably for the most part weren't following the story. So now you know what all the hype's about, right? You know what they're talking about. You got the backstory on how this whole thing started with Lynette and all that stuff. So that's why I did. I touched it one time and I said that's it. And putting other people are covering it nightly. So you can go check that out and give them the views and talk about the people, talk it there with people that are from the Hales subscription, the Hales crowd, who know a lot of the information. So we did do that, and we had some of them stop by and fill in for us. If I put what the Hales on a title, they're probably going to show up, you know. And it's just like there's so many people doing it right now already. We have more important things to look at right now, and that is the censorship that's coming abroad, 2024, the upcoming election, how important it is that we knock the establishment down and out of power in the exec, and we start working all the way down through government to drain the swamp. Trump deserves a second term he didn't get. We've talked about election integrity, all these things that matter. So clear and present dangers. We talk about real open conspiracies, things that are actually going to affect us, that actually we can actually do something about, and then long-term solutions towards the generational warfare that has corrupted our system over the course of time, when people just turn a blind eye or didn't give a crap about it or thought someone else would take care of it, right? We figured out that's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. So anyways, yeah. So that's why I haven't done the P. Diddy stuff. That you know, it doesn't mean I won't do it. Yeah, and the Obama connections are very, very interesting too. Yeah, he's good friends with Will Smith and P. Diddy, isn't he? Yeah. And when Jesse Smollett pulled his hoax, the Obamas were there to back him up, weren't they? So they seem like they're pretty mixed in with this crowd. That's the part to know that I find very interesting as well, Daisy. And you know, as more as that comes out, you know, I'll figure out something if we need to cover it. But you know, and then the court cases. Wow. I mean, I'd love to cover the court cases that came out, but I'm not a lawyer. You know, well, I guarantee you, every lawyer in LawTube is probably want to cover that in some way, shape, or form. I can't compete with Ricada and legal vices and legal mindsets and you know, the big dogs in LawTube. No way. You know, I can't. Viva Fried. No way. I can't touch these guys. They're lawyers. I'm going to go to them for law, you know, to understand the law, because they, you know, I know they know it. They spent tons of money learning it. Well, you know, I spent my time learning the stuff I talk about, you know, and like it or not, that's kind of like what I have to offer in this YouTube space right now, at least as far as this goes. I think it's effective. I think it's important, and I think it's things people need to know. But I'm going to be fighting an uphill battle against the powers that be because of what it is. You know, because I'm, you know, again, the worst Fed ever. But all right, so let's listen to the rest of this. We only got a few more minutes left, and then I want to go back to Art of. Dang it! I have to keep scrolling back up the last comment to Art of Kicks. Is that his name? Art of Kicks? Yeah. Okay. Art of Kicks. Art of Kicks. He's probably a homeboy. He's probably down the street. All right, here we go. Let's get back to this.
Telling you that a lot of them are involved in it. I don't know why you guys want me to describe the things, and I don't know why you guys want me to drop specific names. You guys already know.
Thanks, Enya. Thanks for being here.
And I don't know why you need to hear me say it. I'm literally not going to lose everything by calling out specific people who have more resources than me that could destroy my life with one lawsuit. Another thing that I want to go over was a lot of people were saying that the way that they were messing with me wasn't scary.
Oh, here we go.
People were saying,
been waiting for you to show up.
Stuff. They're buying you free half and half. I'd take that. Ha ha ha. LOL.
Just been waiting for you to show up, big boy.
How horrific that is. Going through that, where every time you come in your house, something's a little different. I didn't even say all of the stuff that they did. I gave like a couple of details because it didn't really
seem like
that interested. So I just kind of stopped posting it because nobody believes you. Nobody cares. They just call me schizophrenic on Facebook.
Since we're through this, we'll
talk. Dismissing me. But now that other bigger names are saying it, people that you actually believe, the Ryan Garcias, the Diddy allegations, the Drake Bells, now that these people are saying it, now you're like, oh wait, maybe he wasn't bullshitting. maybe this stuff is going on. Maybe we should actually listen to the other people that are saying it. But you guys are still minimizing the kind of stuff that they do. They don't publicly, openly say, hey, we're going after this guy for this because he knows this, and I'm going to threaten you very openly. These people were coming into my private house. They were flipping my batteries. They were fixing things that only I would notice. I can't tell that to anybody. I look crazy saying it on the internet. They fixed my doorknob. They fixed the manual on my car. They fixed the gear shifter on my car that only I would notice. If I ever came out and said it,
that's a lot of skill sets right there going
on. They do
on.
things that you literally can't explain to anybody without the general public completely dismissing it, saying, I would like some free half and half.
Oh, you just messing with me, dude. Okay, man. Thanks. Sorry, man. I'm glad you're here though. I saw you were a subscriber for a year, man. That's cool. Well, you never come by and chat, man. So I never got to know you, so I didn't know. So you just been trolling me? You're funny. That's good, man. You got me. Hey, you set the whole theme for the show tonight, so it's like, but you did good, man. You did good. You got me. I appreciate that. Thank you. So everybody say hello to Oilfield, man. He got me. He got me good. All right. Well, don't take anything I said personally then. Good job, dude. Good job, dude. Well, what we're talking about here is this, dude. We're trying to figure out whether the story was, real or not. But the way it was read and so on is kind of interesting. And it came off another channel who believed it. I think this guy really does is really, he just he talks about he does like creepy stories first person, and that's what his channel does, and he does really well at it. I mean, look at that plaque behind him. He's doing better than me, right? With 19 people watching. Yeah, so now we're just watching kind of the follow-up as to like after he put the story out, it went viral, and people are asking him why he didn't give more information about it and so on. So we kind of watched the whole thing. You might not have caught it, but we watched the whole thing. His first initial video, and so we kind of got the feel that he was reading someone else's story or it was elaborated in some way. But here's his response, and evidently he's going to show some receipts. There you go. Yeah, you get up here, smile. Oh man, good one. All right, cool. Good job, buddy.
They were listening to what we were saying. They went out and got it, and they replaced it, and they put it in the fridge when we didn't notice. They came into our residence. No, you don't want free half and half. No, you don't want your doorknob fixed and your car like your car shifter fixed. You don't want that. These are things that they do to discredit people that they're doing it to. Another thing that a lot of people were saying was, if you signed an NDA, why are you saying it now? One, because so many people are coming out and saying it. Two, because I didn't really break the NDA. I didn't really say where we were. I didn't really say who was there. I didn't really say what happened there. So I didn't really break it. They can't really do anything to me about that. And I'm pretty sure there's a statute of limitations.
They would know who they were
a while ago. So I'm pretty sure I'm good. Fingers crossed I'm good. But a lot of people were trying to discredit it by saying, you signed the NDA, but you're talking about it publicly. That doesn't make sense. Kick rocks. One of the main things that people were saying is like, where's the proof? Where's the proof? What was the top comment? It was, I'll take this never happened for 500, because people saw somebody comment that one time, like as if you're answering like a Jeopardy thing, and it got like a top comment, and people aren't funny. So they just copy top comments that they've seen in the past to try to get a little bit of recognition. But people are just saying things like, I don't have proof. I don't have any of this. Why didn't I save any of the stuff? Why didn't I save the invite? I bet you're going to be sitting here waiting for excuses about why I didn't save any of it. But I did. I have it. I have the letter exactly how I described it. All extravagant and weird. It's a bizarre letter. I'll show it to you guys after. I'll put it at the end of this video. Like, okay. It's weird and bizarre. Pull it out a little bit for you right here. Gold letter. Like, this is it. And you could see the.
All right, can you guys see that? Hold on. Okay, August 31st, 2016, Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Not a minute late. Your talents have been noted. Your name has been endorsed. All the dreams you're chasing are a night away through the seventh heaven. Sincerely redacted or blocked out.
The weirdest part about it is like, it says like,
oh, it's sincerely this necklace dangling.
Sincerely, but then has like holes punched in it and has like a medallion hanging from it. Like,
hold on. I want to see this real quick.
but then has like holes punched in it and has like a medallion.
Oh, look, it's got an all-seeing eye. It's got the eye. It's definitely the Illuminati.
Hanging from it in gold letters, and it goes like, "You're invited" on the front. It's like this whole extravagant thing.
Okay.
It has like a wax covering. It says "Join us." Like, I have it. Like, I have the proof. Like, I uploaded this story months ago and nobody cared. They watched.
So does anybody think that he could have made that? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to dog the guy out if he really had a story or if this really happened to him or not. I'm just pointing out what seems weird about the story and what the presentation of the story, what it means, as far as, why people have questions and how it could seem like it was come across a certain way. So, it's up to everybody to decide on their own, but let's hear what he has to say. And we'll
watch it. They go, "You have no proof. You didn't even ask if I had proof." The second you guys ask, I have proof. So these are a lot of the things. Like, this letter, obviously I wouldn't throw away. Of course I wouldn't throw it away. All you had to do is ask and I would show it to you. I'm not sure what else you guys need to believe it. Like, I gave you the most detailed account that I possibly could. I really tried to make it as detailed as I possibly could for you. I uploaded it as much as I could. Nobody cared. But then when people with bigger names than me started saying the same things, now you guys say I'm copying them or riding the wave. Check the receipts. I uploaded this before any of them. I released this before any of them. I think I covered everything that I could with this. If you guys want a way more fully detailed next part of this, that's like really about just what they were doing to me that week, I'll drop that too. You just gotta let me know in the comments, because I'm not gonna waste my time doing it if you guys don't care. It seems like the internet only has a 2-day attention span. They're probably not gonna care at all and forget about this in 2 days. So you guys gotta
3 months
let me
ago
know on this video if you guys want me to further explain the week after the party. Right now I'm gonna cut to a much better close up on this so you guys can actually see the details on it. It's really bizarre. It's really freaky. I thought it was super cool at the time, but I don't think it's that cool now. I kind of keep it as a for this. I keep it for this. So this is the invitation. Here's the proof. I'm gonna let you guys get the closest look that you possibly can on it. It came in this very extravagant thing, very extravagant gold envelope, and then this says "Join us" on the front. This was really weird. I'm gonna show you guys the outside first before I show you the inside. It had this. Is it focused?
It's having a hard time focusing. It's focused now, but it goes in and out.
That's fine.
Hold on. Can we see this? There we go.
Okay.
It has this little stamp on it has like a tree on it. That was like a wax stamp.
A tree.
Very weird. Join us. And then this is the inside of it. So as you could see, is it focus good?
There's no.
Okay. I'm just going to let you guys give that a read. Date, place, cursive. You guys can see all of it. See what they're.
I'm trying to see. It does look kind of handwritten, but it does look kind of printed. Like just the doubling up a little bit on the weight strikes me as handwritten. So I would say it's probably handwritten, but it's hard to tell. I'm looking for consistencies and you see this isn't consistent. I'm looking in letters. This is different shaped right here. So yeah, I would say this is probably handwritten.
They wrote at the bottom, what is it? Your talents have been noted. Your name has been endorsed. All the dreams you're chasing are a night away through the seventh heaven.
Now the difference in ink, that's interesting. Like that's interesting. I'm not sure whether it was this part is printed and this part's written, or any thoughts, guys? Any thoughts on this? Let's see. We know he easily could have got that. Okay. I own sealing wax. I'm own seal. Okay, so that's the also in a fountain pen and mini calligraphy nibs. I bet. Let's see. Who cares? This is the wax seal, right? Okay. Well, he said it was like 5 years ago, right? That's 2019. So maybe he just had his dates off. Or this is only 3 months ago. So I mean, I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Thomas says, what would that affect if he was or wasn't sent by some Illuminati group? Laugh out loud. What would that affect if it was or wasn't sent by some Illuminati group? That's handwriting, the change in thickness. Yeah, that's what I thought. The pressure. Yep. 216 on the letter. Yeah. 2016 on the letter. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Cool. Let's continue.
But this is the weirdest part, is that it says sincerely, but then it has like 4 holes punched in this gold chain to this emblem. Get it up here. So that's the weirdest part to me. And the outside was just, you're invited with gold trim. You see how extravagant it is and odd. But yeah, that's the closest. That's the thing.
All right. Well, I'm way in the corner. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go back over to. So here we go. So here, so the reason why I know this story is because of this dude right here, right? And let me see. Has everybody had a chance to answer the poll? Oh man. Oh wait. Let me see. Okay, so this guy right here, right? So he played the same story we just did. He actually just played the whole thing, and he commented on it. What do y'all think? Because that's kind of weird, huh? And that was it. That was his first video. That's how I learned about it. And I looked at it, and I was like, "What is this guy story about? Right? What is this story about?" So I went and checked out his channel, and that's when I found out what he does is he does, creepy stories told in first person. So that makes sense. So this guy, maybe he just, didn't know that and looked at it and said, damn, that's a hell of a story. Right. Well, now he seems like he's really selling it as his own story. Okay. So let's listen to what he has to say about part 2. He says he's deleting this soon. So I want to make sure we get it on and talk about it before it's all over. But let's hear. He says that since he did the story, weird things have started to happen to him. So guys, if weird things start to happen to me, you'll know why. All right.
So I've been noticing some strange stuff happening to me as of lately since my last reaction to Dougie's story when he was talking about his encounter with that secret organization. Now, if you guys have been paying attention,
I hope this is a joke.
Y'all will know exactly what I'm talking about. Right after I did that reaction, I did a live stream, and during the live stream, we cut out about 5 times. The live stream just shut down about 5 times. It would come back, but then it would go away. I've
right, Thomas?
That happened on this channel before. And a lot of you guys are in the chat were saying, no, they're watching. They didn't
there
like
goes the grift.
You put out, which is so crazy. The video is doing numbers right now. It's at 1.5 million views. Went viral.
What?
Right?
Help me out.
We got part 2. We're about to check out part 2, but I got more. A couple of days later, I got a strike on my channel, just at random. Like I said, if you guys been paying attention, y'all would know about that as well. And today, some odd stuff kind of just
hold on a second. What strike did you get randomly? Is your video still up?
Happening with my equipment here, like my computer monitor blacked out, the one on the right hand side over here. And what else happened? My audio went out. I've never had my audio just go out. I'm trying to.
I feel like he's feeding into this.
Trying to watch content and nothing. I end up having
Good night, Wolfram. Thank you for everything.
In order to get everything back on track. Coincidence, maybe? It could be. All of it could be. Or it could be something else. We got to watch out. Again, my best friend sent me part 2 for me to check out. And he told me I needed to be careful because we're tapping into some stuff. We might need to be leaving alone. Let's watch.
So I just
okay. Well, hold on. We already saw this. So he's just doing the same thing I just did. Okay, so there we go. That's all I want to do. Let's see what he says at the end. I don't want to do all his analysis plus mine. Here we go.
Just letting it be known to people that, hey, I didn't make up this story. This is what happened to me. This is the reason why I can't say certain things, to not only protect myself, but to protect the other people involved. And here's some evidence for you. If y'all believe the story.
All right, that's it. Okay, enough of that. All right, so there you go. Oh, hold on. Wolfram, hold on. He might still be here. For Wolfram and Enya, this one's been going over well lately.
Hey, buddy, you tired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't keep your eyes open?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been nodding off a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay, buddy.
Yeah.
If you want to go to sleep, I can. You go ahead. Go to sleep. I'll.
There you go. Oh, it's important to get sleep. All right, cool. All right. I love that little guy. All right, well, man, thank you for the troll. Oil Man taught me, help me remember something. I don't need to take the comments, you know. I should always take them with a grain of salt. I should do that better. For sure. I kind of felt like it was kind of a you just can't tell with tone, you know. You can't tell with tone. So yeah. Oilfield Man friend, good. On the same page, awesome. Yeah, if he had actually had an issue with it or something like that, I would have been like, well, let's talk about what we're on the. What do we like? My approach was going to be like, you know, let's get what we have in common out first. Let's remember we're on the same side of things, even if we just don't disagree, or even if we don't agree about everything. I got information to offer, and people can take it or leave it, you know. But anyways, good one, Oilfield Man, good one. You got me, guys. Hey, it made for a good theme for tonight and a good conversation. Just to go up, you know. I might have actually taken a night off just because of the pollen and other things. And then this week was kind of an off week, so I was like, well, I could take the whole week off and kind of refresh and come back. So I won't be around this weekend. This weekend got plans all weekend long. So no shows Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, I was like, well, you know, it's just so easy to take tonight off and just get the rest I probably need and not and just be back next week with a full, you know, Monday. We back now Monday, officially back Monday for a full week of shows, and then have all kinds of new stuff to roll with on then. So yeah, that's a good thing. So it helped me get here. So thank you for that as well. Because I will, I mean, I honestly will come. And I want people to have conversations like that. If someone had really believed that those things, right? I want them to come here and have conversations with me, so I can show them, hey, well, you know, we have tons in common. That's what we need to focus on. But we also, here's the information I have that and what I've learned over the course of many, you know, a decade and a half of fighting this kind of stuff. And not denying conspiracies exist. I'm this weird hybrid, right? A lot of people are just either one way or the other. They're either full blown into it or full blown out of it. You know, I'm kind of like I'm floating above that, kind of like looking at everything from a real high level and seeing something that when you're down at the ground level you don't see. Because I've been in both places, so I always want to share that and help people walk through that awakening process and understand what it's gonna take, and then within that, how we design and craft a better future. You know, media, like the things I'm covering about the, you know, the grifts that are going on. It's like, you know, this isn't the way we improve our situation, guys. And I know that the people are putting it out, at least for most of them, want that. That's something we do have in common, right? I'm just like, well, it's not going to work. We have to reform journalism. We have to reform our expectations and how we handle it, and then what we know about discerning it, right? And that starts with earlier education than, you know, later on. You can learn it later on in life for sure, but to solve the overall problem, I believe we have to really start that education really early on, teaching children about real logic, the trivium education, and how to see through fallacies, and that diffuses in all kinds of subversion and mind control, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to go back and give thumbs ups and hearts over to those comments. So thanks again for that. All right, so what we got here? My mom, that's Mother Perez. My mom went to tons of parties in New York City in the 70s. Andy Warhol, Salvador Dali, Bob Guccione. Did I say that right? I hope so. If I did, I'm sure you're proud. She still won't let me know what went on there, like, at all. She just says Guccione. Bob Guccione, like it all, just says she was never the same after. Come on, Mother Perez. Tell us your stories. Come on. We want to hear them. Clip it. Clip it and send it to your Mother Perez. Mother Perez, we want to hear the stories about the 70s and all these crazy parties you went to. We want to hear them all. You got nothing left to lose. They ain't coming after you. He's very convincing. Something different to watch. Very nice. Yeah, it was definitely. He is convincing at the end there. And I get it. He's a professional YouTuber or TikToker or whatever. He's got his scripts. He's reading them. I'm trying to imagine how I would do that. Right. If I was a little bit more well organized in that area and I wrote a script out, would I come across the same way? I don't know. How many votes did we get here? All right. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. So poll ending in 3, 2, 1. Well, you guys will hear this on the delay anyways. So there you go. Man, I gotta remember to lower the latency when I do nights like this. I really want to test the lower latency on these streams to see if it interferes with the video production at all. I know that on lower latency you can't get like 100. You can't get 1440. You can't get 1440 or 4K. And I don't think how many people here are watching 1440 and 4K. Is anybody watching me in 4K right now? Probably highly disappointed because StreamYard only puts out 720. There's some videos look really nice in 4K. They do. Let's see. I know she met a lot of celebrities, politicians, trendsetters, what we call influencers. But that's it. No more details. She was a photographer, and my father was a street pharmacist. So let's just say they were very welcome at those things. How about that? That's how I got the medallion. Yes, that's right. Yeah, Mama. Yeah, let's hear it, Mama. Come on. Well, she has got. Well, how she got it? Mine now. Yeah. Exactly. Until we find someone to buy for $5 million. All right, guys. So, yep, weekend off. Any guys? Any more? My is only 360. You can set that. You can set that to advance, or you can set it to the only one. I have it on high, so I've tried to get the. Let's see, what does it say? Quality is on auto. I have it on auto right now, but I swear to God, it's like preset to it's preset to high, right? So whatever that is. So it's supposed to look for the highest or the best at all times. There you go. So I'm a little bit more clear now. You're on 480 auto over here? Really? You should be able to get 720. Wow, is that really how you guys have been watching all these videos for now? From all this time? You've only been seeing it in the low reses? I'm so sorry. No low res idea. I can pay more than I'm already paying for StreamYards a month and get 1080. But I mean, then it's 1080, then the video ain't 1080. You're not really getting 1080, right? 1080 for an avatar. It's already a little bit in and out of reality here. So yeah. You can see me clearly now. All right, cool. There you go. Win-win. Winners win. They do. Oh, you know what I didn't do tonight? Let me do it now. I didn't thank all my YouTube members. You know, these guys are smart. They pre-purchase one super chat a month ahead of time, and it's always waiting for them at the beginning of the month. And it helps support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. That's the inner winner circle there. If you've been gifted a membership, man, I hope you will consider becoming a full-time member. It really does help. It really does help. And hopefully more and more time as time goes on, more and more people will be joining us and getting into these kind of conversations. I mean, you got to realize eventually I'm going to run out of things to talk about as far as the veils go. I'm going to reach an end of that series, and it's a very long series. It needs to be a very steady walk into the ideas to present the philosophy correctly. And I've been doing it that way for the entire time, but it's going to eventually, I'm going to run out of things to talk about as far as that goes. That'll probably be boxed away as a series, and then Unveiling Reality will continue on, just doing what else is out there, what's new, maybe just on the spot debunking, maybe you know, and media analysis, you know, and then, you know, stories like this. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I'm just living it day by day, and trying to do what I think is right, trying to help people as best I can. And that's what I got for you tonight, guys. Thank you so much for being here for this YouTube exclusive. I do appreciate you guys being here and hanging with me and talking about the story. Let's see. 80% thinks it's fake, 20% thinks it's real. And you know, by that ratio, then, you know, they may that just may be a troll. I never know. Just trolling, having some fun. All right, guys. That's it for this evening. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern for chapter 4 of The Great Awakening. I almost said Control Oligarchs. The Great Awakening. And let's see, what was the chapter again? Do you guys remember? I'll check it out real quick just so you guys know. You can think about it all weekend. I think it was a pretty good one. Click again. Click again. All right, there we go. And now click that. Jeez, it's taking forever. Oh, there it goes. All right. Chapter 4 is they want you to be oh, here we go. It's one of those long titles. They want you to be a teenager and on allowance, and that's just the beginning. Yep. Well, they're doing a good job. So that's the name of the chapter. We'll be reading on Monday at 8 p.m. Your letter is in the mail, Win. Keep an eye out. Oh, good. Thank you for the $5 super chat on the way out. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be looking for my letter in the mail. Of course, I never go to the mailbox. I never check the mail. So another bad way to get in touch with me. Anybody here real quick? Where am I at right here? Let me see if there's a we don't want to forward Shelly's birthday bash. Let's see. Let's go. I'm gonna send you guys over to Shizzy. I think he's still going. It says he is. What time is it? Is he still on? Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna send you over to Shizzy. Tell him I said hi. You guys have a great evening. Much love to all. Let me just make sure I save that so it works. All right. Much love to all. And until next time, that's next week. Everyone, keep on winning.